next time, what you need to do, Zam, is you get the lube, and then you put the lube around the ring, and then you go forward. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to a little different. It's more of a casual Friday thing because there's nothing else to do, and rather than sit there terminally flipping between social media sites, I thought we'd rather get online and talk shit about what the hell's going on in the world today. Well, this week, and it's a doozy here in the UK. But this is an open forum, so anyone that joins us in the comment, I will. You can just give us the subject, and if we know anything about it, we'll talk about it. It's that kind of thing we're doing with. Joining me is Zam. How you doing?
Oh, fine, thank you. I've been doing lots of preparation because I've got family coming over tomorrow, which means I have to make my house look respectable and not look like a shithole, as well as serve up some fucking food tomorrow as well.
You got to keep up appearances, mate. That's how it goes.
Hell yeah,
You
hell
can't
yeah.
you can't showcase any kind of non-ethnic disorganization. It's the same thing here. If there's a
I have to
speck
buy
of
some
dust,
bleach.
yeah, if there's a speck
I
of
have to
dust,
buy
the
some
church will
bleach,
know
man.
about it, mate. They will
Oh
know
yeah,
about
for
it.
sure.
So we must keep up appearances, and yeah. So, sorry, I got this cough
Don't
that
die
won't
on
go
me, yeah.
away, and we are going to talk about. Actually, firstly, I before I get. Oh, we've got a chatter. Who's joined us in the chat? Oh, it's
It's
Cheeto.
burrito.
Why? What do British cucks know about the world? Well, I'll tell you what. Aside from me and Zam, not a lot. British
Yeah.
people tend to be just as ignorant as you Americans when it comes to the world, and we are here to educate you liberals on how things actually are around the world, and not what mainstream media tells you. Speaking of which, the lizard people are real and they're coming to eat your mum. It's as simple as that. They ate my mum just now, and now they're coming for other people's mothers and their chickens and their fathers. And trust me, bro, now buy my supplements. That's right, the real world. You'll only get it here. Yes, you do resemble that remark. But we're actually not going to go into politics yet, because I want more people to kind of join us. We are actually going to start with films. Have you watched any films this week, Zam?
Yes,
Tell
I
us.
have watched a doozy of a movie. It's called Creed 3. Yes, Adonis Creed goes back into the ring after retiring after Creed 2, and he has a score to settle against a childhood rival who himself wants to have payback against Adonis Creed because he felt that by saving his life, I guess, he ended up going to jail for 18 years and now he's out. And now he wants, retribution. He wants all of that. And Creed is the man who he feels needs to not only offer it to him, but he needs to take it from him. Yeah, I watched that
Wait,
the other
he needs to
day.
offer in retribution and take away his retribution.
Well, no, maybe I used the wrong terminology here, but he feels like he needs to basically earn his title shot, get his opportunity for the big time. But not only, but he needs obviously Adonis Creed to offer him that, but he also wants to take it
Oh, I
from
see.
him as well. Because Adonis Creed plays a promoter for most of the movie before you realize, you know what, I need to get back into the ring and teach this motherfucker who's boss. So yeah,
Any good?
so it's a little bit run of the mill. You feel there's elements from obviously from all the other Rocky movies. You've seen Creed 2, haven't you?
I I tried. I didn't like Creed.
Okay,
So
well, Creed 2 felt like a lot like Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. This kind of film feels a little bit like Rocky 5 and a bit of Rocky 3 as well.
okay.
Um, like this guy could be Jonathan Majors, who plays the antagonist. He feels a little bit like he could be Clubber Lang's son, for fuck's sake. With because you had the Ivan Drago's son in the second one, There are cameos and comebacks from people like Tony Bell, who was in the first Creed movie. He played pretty Ricky Conlon. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's back in this.
yeah.
He's back in this one just for a brief moment. Ivan Drago's son comes back for a brief moment. You can see why it reminds you of Rocky Three is that in Rocky Three, Rocky's living the good life. You know, he's rich, he's successful. You know, he's a very popular personality, and you see that in Creed Three, he's living the good life. You know, what I mean, he's got his own promotion. You know, he's in charge of boxers. He's become like a Frank Warren type of character, so to speak. You know, and this guy wants to take his good life away from him. If this film's bringing nothing new to the table, and unfortunately, there's no Sylvester Stallone in this movie either, which is, in my opinion, a little bit of a shame because there are a couple of scenes in this film where I thought to myself, why the fuck is Stallone not here? Why the fuck is Rocky not here? You know, he should be here. You know, you want me to spoil a bit for you?
Oh yeah, I already know the spoilers.
Okay, well, at one part of the moment, Mrs. Huxtable, um, who plays his mum, the woman who played Bill Cosby's wife in the
Take
Cosby Show.
take the comment off. Thing.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
The woman who plays his wife from the Cosby Show. She plays Adonis Creed's mum in this. She dies eventually. You know, she has a stroke and she dies. And you would have definitely thought that Rocky, who knows her, would have been, who's good friends with Apollo Creed, who's obviously
Yeah.
his son's mentor, would be at his fucking son, would be at Adonis's mother's fucking funeral, and he wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like that
Mm.
was worthy of a cameo right there alone, and so him not
Yeah,
being there
but
for those sort of moments,
the
yeah,
problem is Stallone and the studio and Jordan
they fell out.
fell out. So
Yeah.
yeah, Rocky basically no longer exists in
Well,
this.
his name was brought up a couple of times, and like you could tell, like Michael B. Jordan's got a big love for anime,
Yeah,
and there's some elements in this film where you think to yourself, that's a bit anime like, so to speak, because he's putting that directorial flavor of his, but this is his debut directing
yeah,
the movie as well, and I give him credit because obviously, being a director is hard enough, but being a director and the star is probably even harder, So, yeah, it was an okay film. It brought nothing new to the table, but at least Creed has got a trilogy, so I guess that's good enough. I mean,
yeah.
fighting Ivan Drago, as far as I was concerned, was a lot fucking harder than fighting this fucking dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, that's what I
All
saw
right.
this weekend.
Well, that was
This week,
Creed. I have no intention of watching it. How many Rocky films can you fucking see? They're
that's
all
the
the
ninth
same.
one.
Yeah, that's the ninth one. Jesus Christ. Talk about the never-ending saga. Um, in the world of TV, I've got a doozy for you. South Park was pretty good this week. Last week was one of the worst episodes they've ever made, and this week was one of the funniest episodes they ever made, and it's regarding ChatGPT. And basically, Bebe, one of the Wendy's friends of the kids, is
Yeah, yeah,
like,
I know, baby.
okay, so she's like, so happy, like about Clyde and how he responds to the text messages, and they're so
Yep.
thoughtful and beautiful and all this kind of stuff. And Wendy's getting jealous because Stan just sends a thumbs up to every reply. So obviously, she confronts Stan about it, and then Stan gets worried that he's going to lose Wendy. So he goes to Clyde. And Clyde's like, "Oh yeah, I just use Chat GPT to reply to a text. What you do is you take her message, you copy it, you paste it into this app. The app does all the work for you. You copy the message and send it back to Bebe, and it gives it all this thing. And then this whole thing unravels in that from text messages to student essays, being like, all these elaborate things. It's like, Mr. Garrison and what a shit teacher he is. And then all of a sudden you've got essays talking about the Cambodian struggle
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
people,
yeah.
this kind of stuff. And it was so funny. And the way it just spirals out of control. And then there's a montage bit where Stan is sending messages, and the song itself was written in AI, and it's so hilarious. Like if you ever rewatch it, put the subtitles on because It's just so funny some of the stuff they're doing, and so yeah, it was really really good, really good episode this week, and all the best all the best South Park episodes are the ones that don't have Stan Marsh or Eric Cartman featuring the most, because with Stan Marsh you're just going to get yet another Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson,
Uh-huh.
and with Cartman it's just you're just going to get the anti-Semitic stuff, which is just like that stopped being funny 20 fucking years ago. You know, it peaked when they did Passion of the Christ episode, which was fantastic, and after that you just there's no topping that when it comes to Cartman's rhetoric, and that's where they should have abandoned it.
And for
Um,
me, I think it peaked. I think with Scott Tenorman must die. When he feeds him his parents and stuff like that.
that's
That
when
was
Cartman peaked, yeah. But
yeah, Cartman. Sorry.
the anti-Semitic rhetoric
Oh, you mean with the
jokes.
rabbit and stuff like Peter Rabbit and all of that? Was that one? Was it that one?
No, no, the
Uh,
Passion of the Christ one was
oh,
the one where all the kids go see Passion of the Christ, and um, uh,
oh, they go see Mel Gibson
Ky-
afterwards.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah, yeah,
Kyle
yeah,
feels
yeah, yeah, yeah.
guilty about what his people did to Jesus. We're standing killing like this film sucks. Let's go get a refund. And so they go on a quest to Mel Gibson's house, and Mel Gibson just gives chase all the way back to Colorado,
Yeah, they
trying
Saddam
to get his
Hussein Mel
money.
Gibson for sure.
Yeah, all that, and that's when it peaked. When Cartman sits there and gives this the German anti-Semitic speech, and all the townsfolk are like, "Well, what's he saying? I don't, it must be Aramaic." That was it for me. That you just can't pick a better joke than that. But the fact that they're still doing it to this
What was the
day,
one with 27 season? I mean, what is it now?
26
Wow, wow,
season
yeah.
20 season 26, and for me, I find most of it's still going strong when they don't feature Randy Marsh. I think I said Stan before, but when they don't feature
I
Randy
think
Marsh,
yeah.
yeah, when it when they don't feature Randy Marsh and Cartman uh, as the prominent focal point, because they bring nothing new. Whereas with Stan and Kyle and Alton Butters and all of that, sometimes you never know what you're going to get with them.
Well,
Um,
like unfortunately, well, I don't know if I would say unfortunately, I don't mind the odd Randy episode and the odd Eric Cartman, but people
just depends.
do. People are fans of that shit. I
Mm,
mean, Randy Marsh. I mean, he was never supposed to be somebody who would have his own episodes and stuff like that, but he ended up becoming like the Homer Simpson of the show,
yeah,
and
which I
so he ended
hate.
up getting his own episodes. I like the one with the Little League. That was one of my favorite Randy Marsh episodes.
That was his peak.
Um,
Yeah, that was his peak. But that was the
yeah.
beginning of when Randy Marsh started to get full episodes focusing on him. It was around that time because they saw how popular
Oh,
that
and the
episode
internet
was.
as well.
Uh, yeah, that was
The,
after the fact. But because that episode was so
yeah.
popular, people were like, oh, okay, people like Randy Marsh. We'll do more Randy Marsh. It's like, oh yeah, but you ran him into the ground. Like last week, there's a whole episode of Japanese toilets, and I said from the beginning, I bet you there's a conspiracy angle, and people start dying,
Yeah.
and people want to kill the toilets, and it played out exactly as I expected. And so it's like, we're getting nothing new when it comes to him. But when they do the other stuff with the other characters, you always get some kind of nice weird angle. Um, but yeah, people like him, so they keep putting
So
him on.
that episode where he hasn't like jerked off for like 6 weeks or something like that,
Yeah,
and
they'll
he
put me
finally
on
gets the
Brazilian
internet.
fart porn, and
Yeah, he gets the internet and stuff like that. He locks himself in and he jerks off to it, and then he manages to do the deed, and like the security breaks it, and then he's just like the whole fucking room is covered in his load, and
yeah,
like and he's like
oh, it
like
was a
that with his
ghost.
pants down his it goes the echo black. And
Yeah,
the son of a bitch. It's like,
uh, so good.
oh god. I have to be honest with you. I haven't watched South Park as much as I used to watch it. I used to watch it quite religiously, but then they had lulls in some of their stories, and they weren't just. I mean, sometimes they're just churning out stuff for the sake of it,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
never like. I mean, I watched episodes like the pandemic special and stuff like that, which is great. But
yeah. That
yeah,
was the one that
it's a
was.
bit hit and miss, and
Yeah,
honestly, I got a bit turned off with their trans episodes. like but they're quite right wing. Uh,
Was that the penis
one
mouse
with
one?
Macho Man, one with Macho
Oh, the
Man
Macho
playing.
Man thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
really that was bad taste in my opinion. Um,
I
that one
mean,
didn't
look,
work for.
in term, it was in bad taste, but I mean, there is not to go too much into it, there is a fair argument to be made. It within the sport thing, they didn't execute it well, uh, basically. But I think what was good about that episode was not so much what that Macho Man guy did. It was more how the uptight, politically correct people handle that situation. Because it's like, okay, you could be so virtuous in your own world, but what if you're given this conundrum, and how do you handle it? And it was okay, but I understand the gripes
Well,
people
for
had.
for me, like I just felt the approach was wrong because it's like this, like the way people go on about trans people in sports is like they think it's an actual major problem when like some people are bringing up in America, they're bringing up sometimes they bring up bills because there's one particular trans athlete in one school, and so they bring up a bill just for that one fucker. You know what I mean? Not because it's a massive epidemic of like trans people playing in sports that maybe like if there were a trans person, woman for argument's sake, so they still got some that some of that male physicalness to them, and they end up in women's sports, and that happens to be maybe not even hundreds, let's say like tens of them.
Yeah,
You can they're not bringing up a bill for that; they're bringing up a bill for one fucker. You know what
yeah,
I
just
mean?
for
And the way for
that one thing.
yeah, and the way South Park are going on, they're making it sound like this is happening everywhere with like in every school, and there's loads of trans people, doing all this, and
Yeah, I
that's not
get
the
what you mean.
case. And
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, and that kind of put me off them a little bit,
Yeah,
when that happened, because I know where they what they put politically, um, sort of side with to a degree, and um, is it Stone and Parker? Is that
uh, uh,
Matt Stone
yeah,
and Trey Parker? Yeah,
Stone and Parker. Yeah, Matt and Trey they
yeah, but
usually go by, but yeah, I mean I would class them more liberal now. They say they like
they
lean
hate
right.
liberals. I heard them. They said they fucking hate. They said
They
they said in an interview that they hate conservatives. So they have an issue with conservatives, but they fucking hate liberals.
Yeah,
They said that.
but the liberals they hate are again what we would classify progressive left. But again, we're dealing with Americans who only, for some reason, they can compartmentalize everything else into little pockets of tribes. But when it comes to politics, they can only think uh, left and right. Liberal, which they think is left wing, and conservatism, which
They have no
that's
idea what left wing is,
no
man. They never
idea. They
got.
have no
They have no
fucking idea.
idea because what they call the Democrats in America the left. They're
Yeah,
not left. They're center right at best, with a handful of left leaning politicians in that group who stand out, like Bernie Sanders, like AOC to a degree.
yeah,
Even there was the one politician called Katie Porter, and I used to really admire her. Then I found out she was a simp for fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. I think, oh god, that's such a shame because I was thinking to myself, I would love for her to be president, but now she's simping for Netanyahu. I'm not so sure. I mean,
well,
I'll take her over most of the politicians every other day of the week. But it's amazing how many fucking American politicians simp over fucking Israel and Netanyahu. It pisses me off, that shit does. You know,
again, it's just more like how far-reaching the Israeli lobby is. I mean, we've seen it here; they've completely taken over. And before anyone gets on us, we're not talking globalists and all this stupid crap that people talk about. We are talking about a genuine contingent within is the Israeli lobbies in countries that do everything to suppress criticism of the state of Israel and the
hmm
apartheid and all of that. And
yep.
I remember, even in Blair's era, that they were very pro-Palestinian rights. And now the Labour Party They have thrown out more Jews than any other Labour Party in history. And hello, Banana 31.
Hello, banana.
And they have the gall to say that Corbyn was an anti-Semite, but it's because of pressure from the board of directors. The board of directors is, that big Israeli lobby that likes to silence everyone. It's completely taken over the fucking Labour Party, and now that a lot of Labour members have moved on to the Greens, as predicted, the board of directors are now, and all these right wing Jewish newspapers are now saying, oh, if the Greens like to harbor anti Semites and all this stuff, because they know the Greens are now, because they've beaten Labour in a few areas. They've taken all of Bristol now, which they didn't. That was a shock to Labour. So now they're on the counter offensive, and they're going to weaponize anti-Semitism yet again. And
As
anyone who
usual.
fucking falls for it is an idiot. But it's not the people that fall for it. It's just that the so-called journalists and the pundits, they're just parroting what their overlords are telling them. And the more you say it, the more idiots like my brother and his friends, who are about 4 or 5 years older than me, believe that crap. Because Gen Xers are incredibly stupid for the most part. I know I'm at the tail end of Gen X, bordering millennial, but a lot of them are they don't realize how brainwashed they are with right wing propaganda. They just don't realize it. But if you have like Zam, if you came and had a conversation with my brother and his friends, you'd just be sitting there going, "Fucking no, it's just like religious fundamentalism." But
It's a little
on
bit with
a
my brother in it as well, unfortunately. I mean,
yeah,
he's an atheist like me, but at the same time, when it comes to certain political things, he's a little bit right, bit too right for me.
yeah,
And it does. I mean, I'll give you an example. Yeah, a lot of people are complaining, about Ronald Dahl's books. They're changing the lingo in it. Changing certain words, and they're blaming the left for that. The left have got nothing to fucking do with it. It's the publishers and
absolutely
editors.
nothing to do with it.
They're changing. It's capitalism that is changing it to make these books more palatable for next generations of people. And the left are not saying, "Oh, you need to change this shit. You need to change that shit." No, no one gives a fuck on our side of the political sphere, but we are being blamed for it. We are being blamed for it. I'll tell you, other things, other demographics get blamed for when it's just capitalism is things like the Christmas lights. When on Regent Street, Oxford Circus, all of that shit, when they put up the Christmas lights in the past, they used to have religious figures, but they don't
Yeah,
do that anymore. They put commercial figures like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, all this motherfuckers. They put and they want to sell shit to you through the Christmas lights, but they'll blame Muslims by saying, Muslim people are offended. That's why we don't put pictures of Jesus Christ on the Christmas lights anymore, or religious figures and shit like that. But the reality is, they want to sell shit and they want to blame Muslims for it. The reason why they're making the change in the first place, when it's really just capitalism wanting to sell shit. And
now I disagree. There is a secret Pakistani cabal working to eradicate Jesus from this country
look at,
and put in place the real prophet that is Mickey Mouse. Don't
yeah,
fall for it, Sam. No,
look,
again, it's
look,
it's assumptions made by liberals and capitalists on behest of other people, and they're like, I didn't fucking ask you to speak on my behalf. I'm a Muslim. I don't give a shit. I put up a fucking Christmas tree. My kids
or they
want
or they
Christmas
won't celebrate
presents.
Christmas either, but they won't fucking stop other people from celebrating it.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Not a
So
single Muslim in this country has ever come out and said, "Don't do Christmas. It offends
yeah,
me."
I'm offended. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
nobody.
fucking stupid.
But it's shit
Um,
like this. Sorry, go on.
who let Bobby Black in? Also, I think the big news is Gary being put in timeout on Twitter. How is the world going to know how right his opinion is? Laugh out loud. Good show so far. I had no idea that Gary was put on. That's his name is Bossman, by the way. I
Yeah,
had no idea that he was put on timeout for Twitter. I mean, I've been having a back and forth with a few people, like on Twitter right now. There's one person, he wants to. I never met a centrist who wasn't right wing, by the way,
yeah.
and this person's like trying to do the old both sides argument and shit like that, but I'm basically saying stop blaming trans people and calling them pedophiles because you can gather up every single trans person in existence and every single religious person in existence, and all the religious people will outnumber the trans people, and all those religious people will have so many fucking pedophiles within their circles that those fucking people would outnumber all the fucking trans people in existence.
Mate,
And trans people are not the
the amount of right wingers that are fucking pedophiles and closeted gays outnumbers how many trans people there are in this world.
or like every for me, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the right wing and they're fucking crusading, in politics nowadays, and trans people being their new boogeyman, every accusation for me is a confession. They're going on about them
Yeah,
being pedophiles, and they're going on about them being pedophiles when it's usually them. And then like it's always the ones who shout the most who've got fucking skeletons in their closet. Michael Knowles wants to eliminate trans people. There's fucking footage of him wearing in drag, in fucking drag.
yep,
He's dressed up as a woman. Stephen Crowder fucking dressed as a woman. Stephen Crowder likes to take it up the fucking ass. And yeah, he's anti-gay and shit like that.
yep.
And
And there was
it's
I
just
just posted, I just saw it, not posted, I just saw an article about a guy who was spraying something like, hang on, let me get the thing up. Um, I could read it verbatim because we're live and there's no time limit. Let's see. Here it is. Man who spray painted groomer on libraries is arrested and charged with
his child porn.
possessing. There you go.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not surprised.
It happens every time. Now,
Every day.
the right strategy is not to call people turfs, but to just bang on like with as much bullshit as they do about them being in the closet. And like from now on, anytime I interact with anyone defending Matt Walsh, I'm like, I guarantee you, Matt Walsh has a search history that is full of trans porn. I
Yeah,
guarantee you, because people that preach that much about trans people are. I mean, hang on, forget the trans. We, we saw it we saw it. Do you remember in the early days of YouTube with and Prop 8 and all of this? And how many of these preachers were found to be closeted homosexuals, calling out
all the
cool
time.
boys and male
Kent
prostitutes and all
Hovind and
this
all of
close.
these
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
no, it wasn't Ken Hovind. It was somebody else prominent like them. But what's it?
Right.
Transphobes are also right wings,
Yeah.
fascist, narcissist, type sexy.
Unfortunately for the
There is a
LGBT
contingent
community,
like Blair White.
but unfortunately for the LGBT community, the biggest obstacles and people they have to go up against is fellow people who are LGBTQ but still closeted and still trying to
Yeah,
fight against their own personal demons, and
yeah,
that is one of the biggest problems. Yeah, unfortunately, and
yep.
and Matt Walsh, by the way, Matt Walsh, he's gone on the way he talks about underage girls and stuff like that. If you look at some of the stuff in the past, it's 16, they're already their breeding age and stuff like that. He's fucked in the head. Yeah, I mean, Vogta here. Oh, I was wondering who you were. Thank you very much, Tommy.
Sorry,
Oh,
Sam.
you've
Once.
gone. Sorry, he's just gone muted here. But yeah, welcome, Tommy. It's good to hear from you again. It's been a long time, mate. So yeah, and yeah, exactly. Transphobes always seem to be right wing extremists, fascists, Nazis, and all that sort of stuff. Those who protest the most tend to have most to hide. Reasonable people don't give a shit. I mean, like for instance, Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to bring out a bill that
Vokta, hello.
wants. Yeah, he was
Yes.
just talking to somebody, but
Yeah.
like, for instance, Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to bring out a bill that will classify Antifa, who are not an organization, by the way, but they want to classify Antifa, anti-fascists, as a terrorist group. Now, since the conception of America, they've had the fucking Ku Klux Klan, and not once have somebody brought out a fucking bill to classify them as a terrorist group. Because if they did, they would lose half the fucking Republican Party, because majority of their fucking voters are sorry, not majority, all Ku Klux Klan voters are Republicans. Now, people will make the joke at me by saying, yeah, but the KKK were Democrats. That was then. This is now. right now, you wouldn't find a single fucking
Yeah, it's called
KKK
the
member who
Southern
votes Democrat.
Strategy during the
Yeah,
civil rights movement, where the Democrats knew one as soon as they signed in voting rights for and ended segregation for black voters that that was the end of having conservatives as their main voters, and so Republicans capitalized on that, and that's when you had the Southern Switch, and it's been like that ever since. And yeah, I mean, look, the you know fucking the right wing hypocrisy now is just you can't just keep calling it right wing hypocrisy. It is what it's crushing dissent. It's fascism. It's fucking dangerous. And I'm tired of people, even on my side, just sitting there like having a laugh and a joke about it. When in reality, look what the Tories have done now. You need ID to vote. They just brought in voter ID. They slipped that right in. I got an email from my local council telling me, "Oh, you need to bring ID in to vote," and it's like you fucking
or like a
fucking
driving
idiot.
license.
Yeah, driving license, passport, all that kind of shit, but that completely fucks over like young voters.
No, yeah, young people, working class voters.
Young voters. Now
Yeah,
you can apply for a special kind of waiver, I think, and that, but that's not the point. The point is, you know, we this is this is the era of late stage capitalism, and the
hell
next
yeah.
is full blown fascism. It's same what happened in the 19 fucking 20s. It's happening now. 100 years later,
100 year
we are
cycle.
right
Yeah,
back, right back to where we were, and you know, at the risk of this video getting taken down or whatever, the only way to deal with fascists is the same way we dealt with them in the 1940s. Just because they're wearing a suit now, not an army uniform.
what the hell?
Hello? What happened there?
What the hell? What the hell happened there?
I don't
I
know.
had no idea.
They're coming for
I
us,
thought we got
Dan.
fucked up. Are we still running here? Yeah, yeah, we're
Yeah,
still
we're still
good.
live. We're still live. Yeah.
What the hell happened there, man? I had no idea.
I have no
Anyway,
idea. But yeah, like I'm saying, just because you're fascist now is wearing a suit and not an army uniform doesn't mean that they shouldn't meet the same end as they did in the 1940s. You know where I'm going with this. That's all I'm going to say
uh-huh.
about that. But you know, what fucks me off for this country is we rioted in London over the death of a violent drug dealer, the repercussions of which was felt in my family when my godson's godmother daughter was fucking gunned down in Tottenham. That's the repercussions of the Duggans that the legacy that that piece of shit has left in this area. Okay, and black people came out and rioted for him, but every day they are crushed by the system and they don't come out and riot. And neither do fucking white people come out and riot despite being crushed by the
Well, they've
system
been
because we're so
misdirected, aren't they? You
pacified.
know,
But we're
they've
so
been for like the people who are ruining their lives, the immigrants coming on rubber dinghies. They've totally misdirected. I mentioned earlier about the Ronald Dahl books.
yeah.
Like I hear people complaining about it, but they're blaming the left for that shit, even though the left have got nothing to do with it. It's just total misdirection, making other people the boogeyman. They'll never learn that it's the very people that who are misdirecting them is their enemies, but they I don't know, they just want to be a sucker for these motherfuckers. I mean, look at people like Nigel Farage, who just constantly chatting shit and offers nothing that benefits people. He spearheaded Brexit, which has ruined this fucking country. Um, he's still got people who love him. Tommy Robinson still got people who love him. Katie Hopkins still got people who love him.
Yeah.
Because they're fascists and bigots and stuff like that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of those still in this country, and they will vote against their best interests, for the rest of their fucking lives.
But
And
it's you see, the problem is people cheer all these people on, and then when it comes for them, they suddenly realize, oh shit, what have I done? Because that's what happened in Italy. In Italy, it wasn't the anti-fascists that took down Mussolini, it was everyone coming together, and even the people that voted for fascism that suddenly realized what the fuck is going on here. We've gone to shit. This cannot carry on, and they went after him. And unfortunately, that's what is going to happen because I wish sometimes the left were as violent in their rhetoric as the right, because if they were, none of this shit would happen. If we went out and fucking went after, harassed and bullied MPs and CEOs the same way that people go out and harass minorities and LGBT folk and all this kind of stuff, we wouldn't be in this situation. We
On the
wouldn't
left,
be.
unfortunately, as somebody who's on the left, I sometimes get policed by people on my side just because I kind of strayed a little bit here and there. Like I made a post taking a piss out of Madonna's face,
Yeah.
not too long ago, and I had people on my side of the political spectrum who had to go at me for making fun of a woman and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, look, I'm just taking the piss here. It's not coming from a place of hate. I don't hate women. I don't fucking even hate Madonna. I think she's the greatest female artist of all time, which makes her one of the greatest female. I say one makes us one of the greatest artists of all time. You know what I mean? I don't
And
hate
she's a
old
mensch because
people.
she
No,
stuck up for Palestinians in Eurovision.
yeah, I don't hate her. I'm just having a little piss take at her expense, this rich woman's expense. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of shit for it.
I'd take the piss
And
out of Batista because he's fucked his face up. This just,
yeah,
you
he is.
know,
He's all Mickey Rourke and stuff like that.
yeah, all that.
I even told him,
We'll
I
get to
made,
your
I can't
comment in a
remember what comment.
second, Doctor. Go on, carry on, sorry.
I mentioned, regarding Mickey Rourke, how I took the piss out of him as well and stuff like that for his particular features, but no one at that time gave a fuck because it was Mickey Rourke. But I make fun of Madonna, and then I had certain people on my side of the political spectrum who came after me, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I mean, like you know where I stand personally. I'm with you guys. Don't fucking police me over this shit. There's bigger things to fucking fight. We need to go after the people, but we too many of us on the left. We want to take this moral high ground over everything, and nothing gets done by it. You know what I mean? It's just
And I
yeah,
was oh, you off. Oh, was that you, Victor? I was just about to comment on your thing, but I get what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Comment on that.
Yeah, all right. So the French righted when the government raised the age of 62 to
Yeah.
64. In Denmark, nothing happened when they raised it from 65 to 67. And for my son, the age of retirement is now 71. Nothing. The biggest class, the middle class, yeah, they don't give a shit. They're the same. They're the same over here. The middle class over here, Victor, they are liberals, and they just help the right wing in every single way because when it comes to economics, they are as right wing as the right wingers. They don't. Again, like when and I can't harken back to my brother. He thought Corbyn wanted to take half of his wealth, and I said to him, "Corbyn's going to tax you an extra £20 a month on your what you earn. £20 a month. My brother is well to do." And so he's only going to take an extra £20 a month from you. And he's like, no, no, no. I said to him, here you go, straight from the horse's mouth. And I gave him the manifesto. And he still insisted that it was bullshit. I said, well, in that case, why should I listen to your rhetoric then? Because you're full of shit. You know, we don't have a real left wing party here at all. Well,
Yeah,
we don't.
I constantly get people, and I'm having these political debates in my cab. And I'm constantly getting people going, "Oh, thank God we didn't vote for Corbyn. A country would have turned to shit." Well, that's what's happening right now under the Tories. Haven't you not noticed that we've turned to fucking shit? Everything's expensive. Can't even buy a fucking tomato at the moment. I told you I'm like cooking these beef ribs. I went to 3 different Morrisons. I went to one in Colindale, I went to one in Queensbury, and I finally had to go to the one in fucking Bournemouth to find the ribs. I
Jesus
wanted the
Christ,
only
all the way to Boreham Wood.
yeah, just to find the ribs that I needed, that I know Morrison's sell, particularly
Yeah.
Morrison's. But what fucking freaked me out was how empty the shelves were. In each of those Morrisons I went into, like hardly any decent fruit and veg at all. And good night, Vodka, by the way.
Yeah, good
And
night, Boxer.
it's
Take care, mate.
and like this is like what's happening to us, under Tory leadership, and we're still getting told that that people like Jeremy Corbyn would have ruined this. When, just to go on a tangent here, I'm 45, going to be 46 years old in a couple of months. In my entire life of living in this country, being born and brought up in this country, I have not experienced a right wing government, sorry, a left wing government whatsoever. Not even Tony Blair's New Labour was centre right at
Yeah, they
best.
were center
You
right.
know what I mean? You know, that's why they were calling
They
themselves
still
New
fuck
Labour.
the poor hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You know, fucking went to war in fucking Afghanistan, brought in student
yeah.
fucking loans. You know, they're not left wing whatsoever. I want a proper left wing fucking government in this country. A proper government that fucking gives a shit about the people and not fucking panders to them. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
fed up of it. I'm
if it
fed up of
wasn't
it.
for the Labour rights, if it wasn't for Starmer's brigade of cunts, we would have had a left wing government in 2017. It was 2,000 votes away from getting into politics, into government. And if it wasn't for the sabotage, right now we wouldn't be in this shit. You know, we still would have left the EU, which is fine, but we would have had a much better deal, a better trading deal. We wouldn't have lost we would have had like a Norway kind of model. Because being Greek, I don't fucking
Damn
like
right.
the EU. Okay, I hate the EU. It is just a neoliberal wet dream project. That's all it is, and it finds ways to fuck over everyone. Like Greece now, compared to what it was 20 years ago, is shit. And I'm not even talking about the bankruptcy. I'm talking about how these fucking German and French bloody supermarkets have come in. They're fucking taken over. They keep bombarding you with regulations where your fruits and shits have to be certain sizes and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I used to just, you can still do it now, but it's not the same as it was. But you could just bowl over any corner of a road, and there'll be the guy there sitting there selling all his fruit and veg and all of that. And Greeks are kind of losing their identity and pushing more in towards like Lidl's and Aldi's and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't us. We're so westernized. And this is what I fucking hate about the EU because of their policies are in place to just fuck over the smaller countries. So I was not happy that we left because England, I mean, the UK does benefit from being in the EU, but once we're out, I'd rather we just do a Norway kind of deal to get back in and not go fully in, because then it means we're not restricted by regulations. That's if we're with a left wing government, we would have been restricted by EU laws that would, like, okay, prime example, the EU anti-competition laws forbade they broke up BAA that had a monopoly on the airports here in the UK. What happened to our airports once BAA lost its monopoly? Every single one of those airports had to go independent. And now what are you seeing? You drop somebody off, £5 to £10. You park for 2 seconds, 20 quid. Your trolley, you pay for. They have found ways that the EU's interference in the air industry completely fucked us big time. It causes so much stressful traveling. It's this kind of shitty micromanagement that I don't bloody want from them. And with a left wing government, we can really steer the ship better in this country. But unfortunately, we have a government that just want to take away your human rights, take away your workers' rights, and practically murder you.
Well, 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 when obviously the war in Russia and Ukraine began, and we sort of started seeing prices skyrocketing. In France, like I think their electricity bills went up by 4%,
Yeah,
and people were fucking rioting on the streets. In the United Kingdom, it went up by 54%. And you know what we did? That's what we
nothing.
did.
We
We just took
tutted.
it up the fucking ass. That's what
We
we did. You
tutted.
know,
And off
we took it
gem
up the ass fucking raw.
off gem fuck this cough. Off gem, they're not a regulator. They're owned by the fucking industry that they're supposed to govern. So they're just
Well,
like,
yeah, all
oh
our shit is French and German now anyway. So like,
yeah,
we got there's no British enterprises anymore.
there is no.
You know what I mean?
Pe-
Everything. So we left
People
the
bang
EU
on
and we're
about
getting our yeah.
sovereignty, and I'm like, what sovereignty? We sell everything to the fucking Americans and to Europe and to China and to the Russians. Like when Russia went to war, how the UK got exposed for how in bed with the Russian oligarchs it was. but it just flew under the radar. There wasn't a big scandal about it, but this country was fucking run by Russian oligarchs,
Yep.
and
Yep.
nobody batted an eyelid.
Yeah, I know. I mean, sometimes this is like sometimes where race plays an issue. I mean, just to go on a massive tangent here, like for instance, um, Qatar hosts the World Cup. I mean, I personally don't think they should host the World Cup. I'd rather give it to Saudi Arabia than Qatar. At least Saudi Arabia qualifies for fucking World Cups.
Yeah,
But people made a big deal about it. But a lot of it, some of it was to do with racism. I mean, Middle Eastern country, no fucking alcohol, all of this fucking shit like that. And then now America's going to be hosting the World Cup next. Anyone going to bring up their human right records? They got for-profit prisons. They call themselves the land of the fucking free. Yet they make corporations make money by putting their fucking citizens in jail, for fuck's sake. I mean, the amount of school shootings that happen in America. Why the fuck should America get to host the fucking World Cup? But will anybody bring that shit up? No, because people think America's civilized. They're fucking not.
yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
they have the most homeless per capita than any other country in the world.
yeah,
Skid
and then they're
Row.
going about
Where else do you have a
yeah.
Skid Row
A lot of them
in
are
the world?
veterans as well. A lot of them are veterans,
Yeah,
and they fucking love to fucking fellatio the military until they have to until it means they have to help them, or until they find out a military member is gay. I mean? Then all of a sudden they fucking hate you, even though you've been serving your country, which is doesn't mean shit to tell you the truth, because Americans who join the military are brainwashed from an early age to fucking die for their country, so rich people can fucking live at large and live the life of Riley. It's
yeah.
God,
I
I'm
mean, the
sorry, I'm
good.
going on these
It's
tangents
all
here.
right, but the good news
Yeah,
with that is they under report how bad how low recruitment is for new people signing up to the military, and they projected that in I can't remember now. So I would have to give you a bullshit figure, but it's in the ballpark of what I remember the thing. But they said in like a generation's time, the military will be less than half of what it currently is because they are struggling that hard to find recruits. And of course, when you're struggling that hard to find recruits, you start making life even worse for people because that's the only way. Like in the US, you can study for free if you join the military. You can get medical treatment for free if you join
yeah,
the
that's why.
military. That's
Yeah,
why so many trans people are in the military because they get their medication and everything, and they can transition while they're in the military for free.
and
Or
why they won't have fucking public health care, because then people won't join the military. Yeah,
exactly, exactly. And so, you go to prison, your medical treatment is free. But if you're an average worker in America, you're fucked, and it's going to be like that over here as well.
when you get
It's
discharged and then you got nothing to show for it anyway. I
eh?
mean? And if you get discharged, then you're even doubly fucked,
Yeah,
because you give your life to the military, they discharge you, and now what you
that's
gonna
it.
fucking do? Be a bum on the fucking street or whatever?
You're a
It's
bum
just
on the street. I don't know any soldiers that have left the military, and I know I'm friends with quite a few Yanks from like the MySpace days, and when I knew them, they were teenagers and they went to the military. Peach was in the military as well,
yep,
and
yep.
none of them I know that have come out and are rich for it. They've all had like bog standard jobs, nothing special,
I
all
think
this kind
Raven
of
was in the
shit.
military as well.
Who?
I think Raven, formerly Dev,
I think
Dev
so. Yeah,
Shell.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Raven,
yeah.
she was in the military too back in the day. So
Yep. Nothing to show for it. So they leave you out to
Dixie.
rot and screw you. Um, but
Yeah, which is why I don't see the glamour in it, because the reality is you're only joining the military to keep people who of a more powerful status in that status. You like, so people like John Bolton can just like write something on a piece of paper and then send a whole bunch of people to die for something they believe in. I mean, you think Donald Trump's going to put his kids in the fucking military? They're not going to be anywhere near that shit.
well, I mean,
Billionaires children or millionaire children, they never join the fucking military. I mean,
nope.
even though there might be the odd exception to the rule, that's what they are, an exception to the rule. Majority of these rich motherfuckers wouldn't put their kids anywhere close to the fucking military.
No, and
You
even
know,
if
it's
even if they go like Prince Harry is a rarity, but then you find out he's just gunning down Afghanis and having a fucking laugh about it and all this kind of stuff. But it's very rare, if at all, that you get, you know, they won't go near the action, and they definitely won't sign up. Like billionaires, children's, and all this kind of shit. They're too busy fucking showcasing the crap they have on fucking Instagram, and then trying to post about how hard their life is, which is kind of endemic of America. Is you see it in Hollywood as well. Is all their sitcoms, all these fucking films that they put out and they churn out. It's always about, oh, woe is me, the struggle of the rich man. You know, they're always in this big
The
fucking
struggle of the
mansion.
rich.
Yeah, it's always about,
Yeah,
oh, this big rich family, and I'm supposed to give a shit about their problems. Fuck you. You could buy your way out of your problems, unless it's an opioid thing, in which case, that's the common ground that you have with everyone else, is because I've seen like rich families who have been destroyed just as much as poor families with the opioid epidemic. That's the common ground. But your other woes and all this, I can't relate to it. I can't relate to rich fucking people and their struggles. But that's the propaganda that they feed you in America. You're always meant to feel sympathy for the rich and the powerful, because
and look down at hardworking people,
and
working
look
class
down on,
people.
exactly.
Yeah, like
You know,
baristas and McDonald's workers. I yeah, I've debated with many people on Facebook regarding that. Like they have, for some reason, they have a real issue with people working in the fast food industry getting a living wage. Like, do you know how hard it is to? These motherfuckers wouldn't last 5 minutes working in the McDonald's. They think that they're
especially
just
now.
flipping burgers. Like you're just flipping burgers. No, you have no idea. You have genuinely no idea that the work these motherfuckers go through and the dickheads they have to deal with on a regular basis. It is hard fucking work. And fast food industry is a very popular industry, and these motherfuckers need to be paid. They need to be paid very well. Why is it okay for Ronald McDonald to fucking earn 30 billion or whatever? Why can't the people who've made him that 30 billion fucking earn some of that too? Because these motherfuckers, everyone, Jeff Bezos, fucking Elon Musk, whatever, yeah, they're not rich on their own accord. They need people like you and I to fucking make them rich by doing all that grafting, all that laboring. And what we have always said is that, yeah, just give us a fair fucking wage, that not only a living wage, but a wage that can make us do things. When we go on holiday, we can buy things. Have a good life. A beyond decent wage, whatever the work is, and that way people are happy to go to work, but they know they're making fucking money. But greedy CEOs want to fucking keep it all for themselves and then look down on people's employments because they're doing labouring work and somehow labourers need to be paid fuck all. And that's what we've been brainwashed into society. It's fucking bullshit. During the pandemic, sorry for going on, but during the
No,
pandemic,
go
we
on.
found out that people like your people like your
Truck
dustbin
drivers,
collectors,
supermarket workers,
yeah,
bin
shelf
collectors,
stackers, all of these sort of people.
bus
They were so
drivers.
they were the most important people to keep society going. And in the past, we've always looked down at these people. Why? These are good, honest jobs, but we need to have as a society to keep us going. Not everyone needs to be a fucking pencil pusher. We could not last like that as a society if everyone was. It would be impossible. We need people to do the labouring jobs, the jobs that not everyone likes. But those motherfuckers need to get paid because they don't like it. You go to a public toilet and it's fucking full of shit. Somebody needs to clean it. Don't pay them £2.50 an hour. Pay them a good wage because cleaning shit ain't fucking for everyone. All right. Sorry for the rant. I
No, I
apologize.
mean, but that's the whole point. Again, it's about the plight of the rich man. You're supposed to look down and think that, "Oh, it's just unskilled fucking labor. Unskilled labor is just propaganda to say that I don't want to pay this person a living wage." And people, we've all done it. When we were younger, would be like, one of our go-to jokes was like, "Hey, do you want fries with that?" Or "Hey, you'll be flipping burgers," and all this kind of shit. Because we used to take the
Mm-hmm.
piss at people working in McDonald's, but all my friends worked in McDonald's. And we never took the piss out of them for working in McDonald's. But we used that rhetoric, and it's wrong. I mean, it's still funny banter, but it's wrong because it's part of that collective of looking down with people. Like, well, prime example, I worked in the care industry, and I was a senior in where I worked, but the money I earned there was dog shit. And the shit I had to do, the amount of times I got bitten, punched at, spat at, the amount of shit, the amount of Heimlich maneuvers I've had to administer, because again, people don't chew their food properly and they get stuck. I have administered over 10 Heimlich maneuvers, and I've had students that are having a seizure, and I've had to pry their mouth open because they're choking to death on food. This kind of shit. And the wages we earn for that kind of stuff, or having to talk to your member of staff over the phone about how to administer buccal because their seizures run over 4 minutes, and all this kind of stuff, and you get no thanks for it. And we get paid a pittance, to the point where I kept complaining to my boss that, look, I can't stay here because I'm not earning enough. And my boss would scoff at me. She's like, well, go somewhere else. And I'm like, the other places are offering more money, and you want me to tell the staff and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, you're telling me that my job is worth less than somebody fucking pushing in a few numbers for some bank accounts who are getting hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. Fuck you. That's what I say. Fuck you. And now the capitalists are reaping what they sow, because they're struggling to recruit people in every industry. Because since COVID, and because of remote working, people are now more choosy with where they go to work. They're like, "Oh, I don't really want to work for peanuts." And I will message companies on Indeed and say to them, what are you what does the job pay? And they're like, 10 to 12 pound an hour. I said, that is not enough money. I said, you want a video editor? You want me to do videography, video editing, and all this kind of stuff, and you want £12 an hour? No, it's not enough. Double it and be grateful for that. What's
Every
Cheeto saying
job,
here?
every job, by
Translating
the
a
way,
Spanish and language pathologist. Well, we give them that. The people that have, like, yes, well, a lot of our students were non-verbal. We were last chance saloon for a lot of these students because they had extreme behavioral problems. But some of them just, yeah, they didn't know how to chew their food properly and all this kind of stuff. And yeah,
every job, by the way, it doesn't matter where you are on the food chain and how important the job is. I mean, whatever your age may be, whether you're living with your parents or not, every fucking job needs to pay a living wage. Every job. What is the point of these jobs? Not, I mean, why would people want to apply for a job if it doesn't pay a living wage? It makes no fucking sense. I know some
none.
people sometimes only. I mean, not everyone's going to be skilled. I mean, I hear this from libertarians of all people, which I find to be super ironic. But a lot of libertarians say that why would you want to, surely you shouldn't be. You should strive to want to get better pay, and not want to, like, maybe work in a cafe or flip burgers for a living for the rest of your life. Why the fuck not? If you're happy and you're getting paid well, why the fuck would you want to change jobs? I mean, if this is what you want to do, and you could be the greatest McDonald's worker of all time, and you know the place inside and out. That's that's needed in society when it comes to these places. So the next generation of people don't have shitty service by somebody who does, by because they've been taught by somebody who knows the industry inside and out. And people need to fucking get paid for
Yeah,
it.
and but the problem also, the problem with that is what that creates in an industry is actually, this thing of needing to strive and push yourself and get to, higher positions and all this kind of stuff. Those opportunities are far less now, especially when all our jobs are shipped off abroad, or all your fucking friends and your family are taking all the managerial positions and all this. The upward mobility is at the worst it's ever been, here in the US and all this kind of stuff. So that fucking bullshit libertarian rhetoric of, why would you want to say, I would, I've said it, I would love to just work in a shop, in a cafe, or even in a Lidl's or something like that. Simple job, no stress, okay, and never have to worry about bills. Why? I have a right as a person to get any job just like they used to. My mother used to work in Boots when they had a mortgage. She was a secretary when they had a mortgage. My dad was a carpenter and then coving fitter, builder, and all this kind of stuff, and all of that. And with their with their mortgage and the house price they had, we lived okay. We were never without. Normal working class family. Now that is dead now. You can't, and the rent, I mean, forget it. I
Yep.
work where I work, and we constantly get people calling in crying because they can't afford rent. They all work. Some of them work two, three jobs. Okay, there is no social housing anymore in this country. We don't build that anymore. In fact, we knock them down and build up private houses now, flats and all this kind
Yep.
of stuff.
Yeah. Flats
All
galore,
right.
mate.
And we're paying some wankers mortgage for them. We can't get a mortgage at all because the rules that they've set up with mortgage companies is deliberate to kind of keep you off the property ladder. Say you need this certain percentage and all this kind of stuff. Whereas in reality, if we had a civilized society, we would do the Islamic thing of here's a loan for a house, it's interest free, you pay it back over time. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they did in Libya. That's what they do in Qatar. That's what they do in Saudi Arabia. The government gives you a loan to buy a place, and you pay it back interest free. That is how you function as a society, because there's no pressure. No private equity is profiting from your misery, and if even if you're struggling, like when we had the banking crisis in 2008, Labour stepped in, said no one's getting evicted from their house. We're putting a freeze on mortgages, and you'll just pay that back over time, kind of thing. And we need more of that. Whereas now it's sink or swim. You're going to be homeless. They don't give a shit. Out you go. You don't like where you're living? Tough. You're trapped. You got no choice. There's nowhere for you to go.
Food banks and everything now.
Food
I mean,
banks.
they're actually like championing food banks. Like the Tories are like um creating new food banks, and they're like saying, "Yay, food banks!" I'm thinking to myself, this is not this is not something you should be happy about. The fact that people are having to live off food banks shows you how fucked up our society
Yeah,
is. You
smiling
know,
when a new food bank opens. Like that's that's not an achievement. That's like you burning down your house and then sitting outside smiling that you burnt your house down.
well,
You know,
evil bitch Pretty Patel. She brought out the bill which ended our freedom of movement because we left the EU, so we don't have that anymore. And she is trying to put a positive spin on that. How can you ever, in any society whatsoever, say that losing your freedom of movement is a good thing? I mean, how does that even sound? It can't sound good at all. Yes, isn't it great that we no longer have freedom of movement? But she's trying to put a positive spin on that, and it's
yeah, and some people are stupid enough to fall for it, but the majority of people, because now the general consensus, I think like 80 something percent of the country wants to rejoin the EU because they've all
80
even
or 18.
80
80.
80
Okay, that's good.
80 is
Good to
huge.
hear.
Like if they held a referendum tomorrow, that's it. We'd be right back in the EU.
Well,
Uh,
we sold the lie, weren't we? £350 million a week
yeah,
in
of course we
going to
were.
the NHS. I mean, you had to be a fucking idiot to believe that. I mean, when you got Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage spearheading that, and both of these guys are crooks, and people fell for that shit.
Yeah, because
Oh
it's
God.
like again. I mean, the UK puts. Well, actually, that's not fair. The Welsh and the English put the fucking Americans to shame when it comes to politics because they're so fucking thick on every fucking level, and I say that with pure passion because trying to talk to the average English person about politics, I would rather talk to a fucking
Yeah.
Republican because at least they know what's going on. Like fucking how many people in this country they don't even know who their local MP is.
Well,
They
the jocks have got it right. I mean, their politicians are brilliant.
yeah
I
the Scottish know
yes,
they
yeah.
that's why SNP, who are they're a centrist party, but they're pushing a lot of left wing policies because it's what's winning them the votes and it's what works and it's what helping their people and they're going nowhere anytime soon, no matter how much the Tories and Labour are trying to destroy the SNP because they are
Eh,
scared of Scottish independence.
and the irony as well, because they go on about leaving the EU. Now Scotland wants to leave the United Kingdom and to rejoin the EU, and these same motherfuckers who believe in freedom and and the democratic process doesn't want Scotland to leave the United
Yeah,
Kingdom. It's
yeah,
like, what the fuck? I mean, you're all good with leaving the EU, but somehow now Scotland want to make their own decision and no longer be part of this fucking sinking ship, and you don't want them to, you don't want them to leave. Ridiculous.
rank
Absolutely
right
fucking
wing
ridiculous.
hypocrisy, which is
Yeah,
just fucking ridiculous. Unfortunately, I mean, look, speaking of hypocrisy, again, when we talk about tomorrow, match of the day will have no presenters at all. It's just going to be highlights with nobody presenting, nobody talking about statistics,
nobody filling in.
nobody's filling in because basically after Lineker got suspended, obviously Ian Wright and Alan Shearer, in solidarity, have said they're not going to be taking part in the show either. Alex Scott said she's not going to take part. Jermaine Genius, Mika Richards said, "Look, we're not scheduled to present tomorrow, but if we were asked, we're going to say no." Danny Murphy,
Very happy to see that.
the
I mean, look, some of these
solidarity
people.
has been
Look,
amazing.
so yeah, I mean, some of these people are dickheads in their own right for various things, but it's good to see the solidarity for sure, because Gary Lineker has done nothing wrong. You
Nope,
know, he's given his opinion and he's been suspended for that. And fuck you, BBC, for doing that, because you just made yourself even worse. You mentioned you mentioned earlier, we was talking backstage before we started going, regarding how the BBC have cut so many fucking right wing politicians who have said abhorrent things, and then the moment fucking Gary Lineker comes, and Shredder corrected me, but I said that Gary Lineker called the Tory party Nazis. No, he said their rhetoric was like
the
Nazis.
rhetoric, yeah, the
Yeah,
rhetoric.
the rhetoric, and because of that, he gets suspended. I mean, if I want people to see between the lines here, you know what I mean? Because all of a sudden, like, calling Nazis Nazis, calling Nazis who have Nazi rhetoric, so calling Nazis who say certain things as Nazi rhetoric will get you fucking suspended. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But let's just
Yeah,
face it, the Tory party are a fucking Nazi party. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
I
Cheeto, I'd
don't,
move to Scotland if it wasn't for the weather, but the weather is shit. It's too cold up there.
yeah,
But
and yeah, me
look,
too.
yeah, I said it. Even, I mean, I was shocked that yeah, fuck, what's his name, Cave or whatever. He's got a weird name, but it's fucking awesome. I watch him all the time on Sky Sports News, and even he kept called out BBC's hypocrisy with allowing so many far right individuals. I mean, fucking Andrew Neil, he's far right. The
Yeah,
Spectator
yeah.
is a far right rag, and he was allowed on the BBC as a political commentator for, I was it,
Years.
30 years or something like that, 30
Yeah.
plus years. Okay. And he has never been pulled up and he's never been impartial. He's always been allowed to talk his right wing bollocks. Everyone, Kunzberg, Fiona Bruce, Alan Sugar. Alan Sugar is exactly like Gary Lineker in that he has a show on there that's not news or politics, and he's allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants. Gary Lineker is a centrist who said Bin Corbyn in 2017, and he wasn't pulled up on that. But because the Tories are being made to look like the inhuman pieces of shit that they are, and you know what right wingers are like when narcissists, when you call them out on their bullshit, they have a complete
Hmm.
meltdown and need to shut down speech. They suspend Gary Lineker. Well, thankfully, everyone has joined in solidarity, and I hope it just carries on. And I hope that they just tell Match of the Day, go fuck yourselves. Either bring back Gary Lineker and stop all this childish nonsense, or we're all walk. Ian Wright and Alan Shearer have no need of money. They're disgustingly rich. They could all. There are so
They could,
many
oh, they could go and
hundreds.
beat, yeah,
They got
beating
BT,
Sky in
they
a
got Sky,
heartbeat.
they got Bean, they've got fucking
Yeah,
NBC, they've got USA, they've got
take
hundreds
him in
of
a
places
heartbeat,
they can
man.
go.
And yeah, and people uh people like Alan Shearer, the terminology escaped me, but they're like freelancers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like they're not
freelancers.
subscribed to, they're not. I mean, even though he maybe works for for the BBC. I see people like Ian Wright be on BBC ITV. I saw Gary Lineker on ITV during the World Cup, not this recent one, but the previous one
Yeah,
when he was still a Sky pundit. So it's not like these guys can't work for other people. Obviously, we've seen Gary Lineker work on BT Sport, and that was hilarious because he wasn't used to commercial breaks, so he had to readjust his way of
yeah,
doing things.
yeah. Oh, I've lost you. Oh,
Oh, it's happened again.
because you. Oh, okay. All right.
It's
Just
happened
technical
again.
glitches. Okay, that's fine.
Goddamn melon app.
Damn fucking
It's cheaper
melon.
to run than fucking StreamYard, but it has got its glitches, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
Well, they're
which is a
probably
bit.
still ironing them out.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, Gary Lineker's contract allows him to do Champions League. Even now, it allows him to do Champions League stuff because he didn't want to get tied down to the BBC. But I think this is it for him. I don't think he's going to come back, and
He shouldn't come back
he
after this.
shouldn't
I
come back.
mean, he was Des Lynam's successor, and he's been doing this job for what, over 25 years.
25 years he's been doing it now, give or
Yeah, and
take.
he's a natural as well. We're talking about a world class English footballer who played at the highest level, played in some of the biggest games of football, who ended up being talented enough to be a host, to be a football host as well. And you're gonna lose that. How are you gonna replace him? He's gonna be really difficult to find somebody to replace him because he's a legend in his own right.
And he's
So
the way he talks, the way he expresses himself, and all this kind of stuff
he's got
is
natural charm and
he's
charisma.
got natural charm, natural charisma. He's really likable. I mean, I remember Gary Lineker's journey. As soon as he retired, he became, um, he became a pundit on Match of the
Yep,
Day next to what was that fucking legendary Liverpool defender, Scottish man. He was
Alan
terrible.
Hansen. Yeah.
Alan Hansen.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was
yeah,
him and
yeah.
Alan
Like can't
Hansen.
win anything with kids.
Yeah, and Des Lynam as the host, and then Gary Lineker took over as host, and Alan Hansen was still there, and all this kind of stuff. And we've seen the progress. And Match of the Day now, I like the three that they have. I love Alan Shearer, I love Ian Wright, and obviously Gary Lineker, and all this kind of stuff. And you lose that, it was like Top Gear when Clarkson and the other two left in solidarity. Fucking Top Gear was never the same again because you didn't watch Top Gear for the cars. You watched it because
Yeah,
the
Joey from
presenters.
Friends, for fuck's sake. Matt
Yeah,
LeBlanc, like,
yeah.
look, sounded good on paper, didn't work in reality.
No, it was awful. I watched like 2 episodes and I was like, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. You can't. You don't shit on once in a generation individuals that bring you the views. The BBC could have easily just said, whatever, man. They could have done an Arsenal. Remember when El Neni spoke out in solidarity with the Palestinian people, and Lavazza, the coffee company that sponsors Arsenal, said, "We demand justice. He should be silenced and fined, and
Like, I'm
we
so
can't
glad
have it
Arsenal
there."
stood by him.
Yeah, and Kroenke were just like, "Nah, we respect freedom of speech. Fuck you," basically. And what happened? Absolutely nothing happened. Nothing happened. Lavazza still sponsor Arsenal, and El
Well, he
Neni
has
still shows for.
been injured and he's not playing football. So if you want to go for conspiracy theory, there could be
No,
something
because
there.
he's look, okay, he's injured, he's not as good as he was. That's fine. But he's gonna be a coach at the club. He's staying at Arsenal. He's getting his coaching badges to be trained and all this kind of stuff. So, you know,
Interesting.
yeah, Arsenal would have sacked him otherwise if there was that much pressure. But you've just at the end of the day, look, right wingers are just saber rattlers, and if you just take a stand, they crumble like little fucking bitches. All right, and that's why they use the law and they use their media arm to silence dissent, to
Yeah,
silence
they
opposition
are
voices,
snowflakes.
because they're fucking snowflakes and they need the law on their side. We see it in America. DeSantis is the prime example here. DeSantis, I always say to people, be thankful that Trump has come back and is now crushing DeSantis, because DeSantis is no fucking joke. Trump is a
Yeah,
joke, but I'd rather have
yeah.
the clown than the literal fascist in America because DeSantis has used the courts and has used public opinion and all this kind of stuff to rally to his cause. And he wasn't like this, but that's the crowd that he's gotten because he was pro-vaccine. But
Yeah,
because now,
I'm
well,
surprised that he's gotten away with as much as he has. Regardless, you would have thought that some of the constitutional laws would go against DeSantis. I mean, he's trying to make bloggers have to sign up to an agreement
yeah,
that so that they can't criticize. I mean, if someone with obviously he's getting criticized all the fucking time, he can't get away with that. Not that one. I
I
mean,
don't think he
it goes
will.
against
No,
it
he's
goes
been
against the First Amendment,
yeah. I
surely.
mean, he's had things shot down and all this kind of stuff, but he tests the waters, and then what happens is that he gets shot down, then he weaponizes it, and then he can fucking get rid of those judges and get rid of those lawyers and pack in his own people. This is how fascism works. And Ron DeSantis is the fucking playbook for how it works. And this guy is no fucking joke, And um, look, I mean, I don't know if Biden's going to run next year. He probably will. He'll win if he does run. Maybe. I mean, this country's so fucking that country's so unpredictable. But if DeSantis runs, then and he wins, the whole world's in deep shit basically because he's
They,
just gonna like
they,
do what you like. I don't care.
they
You
got
know.
that Marianne Williamson, I believe, something like
Yeah,
that, for the
who's
Democrats.
challenging Biden, but they're gonna crush her. They're gonna crush her in no time. Like they're already working overtime now to kind of publicly smear her and shame her and all this and put pressure on her to kind of um, step down. But Williamson she's a class act. She's an absolute class act.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the progressive caucus within the Democratic Party they've been cucked. They've been cucked to save their political careers. Like, what does ALC do now? Fuck all.
yeah.
The only one that speaks out is the Somali one. Uh,
Oh, Ilhan
oh,
Omar.
yeah, Ilhan Omar. She's the only one that still speaks out.
And
Obviously,
even though
Bernie
she's
Sanders.
been reprimanded by the Republicans because I mean she's Muslim and so they want to go after her for that reason alone. And the way they speak about her, like the way like she obviously swore on the Quran, not on the Bible, but their knowledge of like U.S. laws and U.S. Um
Yeah, you can literally swear
what
on a comic book if you wanted to when being
N-
sworn in. There's no
No, no,
rules
but
there.
yeah, but the institutions when it comes to these sort of things, they have no fucking idea, and it's their own
No,
fucking country, and they and they flag worship and all of this sort of shit, and they have no idea about these particular issues.
they,
It's a fucking joke.
they
Yeah,
don't
it
know their own
really is.
constitution. They
Yeah,
don't. They it's ridiculous. But um, yeah, I
they'll never
mean,
get look, but things that
so
look, there's a lot of things I've already spoken to Americans about their country. A lot of things are not going to change. They're never going to get public health care ever. I mean, when you got countries like ours, which is trying to get rid of ours, you think they're going to get that shit installed, implemented? Not a chance in fucking hell. Maybe not in our lifetimes, definitely, Ginger. You know what
no,
I mean?
definitely not.
Shootings, mass shootings, that's never going to end in America. That's going to go on forever. You know, it will take significant people who oppose, who are on the sides of gun rights to be seriously affected by mass shootings for the shit to ever change. You know, and what we've seen with January 6th, where you had all these fucking dickheads breaking into the Capitol building, that even though many of the people shitting themselves were Republicans, once the dust settled, they immediately went back to the same old again. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And did not learn their fucking lesson.
no,
Like people like Kevin McCarthy.
and they're trying
Yeah.
to soften the January 6th thing to the point
Yeah,
of
even though those people
just giving
wanted
them
them
minimal
dead, you know what I
sentences.
mean? Those
But
motherfuckers wanted them. Yeah,
if it was Antifa that did that, oh my god, they would have brought down the fucking book on every
dude.
single one of them. Life
You know,
imprisonment, death
a lot of these
penalties.
motherfuckers are they're blaming Antifa, and then there's people like Ashley Babbitt, who's a Trump supporter, got killed. So what? She's the only fucking person who was not Antifa who broke into the fucking Capitol building. You know, the one person who got killed who happened to be a Trump supporter. Everyone knows they're Trump supporters, and then that's why they live in a different reality because they want to blame Antifa for that when it's so obvious in the footage we've seen. I saw live on that day, you know, that they're fucking Trump supporters. You
Yeah,
know,
even the
you
cops were
know,
soft on them. You know,
a lot of them were, not all of
yeah,
them, but a lot of them were.
a lot of them were
You know
soft,
what I mean?
fucking soft on
Yeah.
them, and it's just yeah, you know. I forgot what we was talking about now, but yeah, I know we was talking January 6th, and but yeah, right wing hypocrisy as as per usual. Um, it's
Well, we get it
just
in our country, we get it in their country, don't we? So,
yeah, every
you know,
country. I
like,
mean, even in Greece, it's fucking with Mitsotakis. It's
no,
same
but
shit.
they can get caught out, they can get owned, they can get looked upon as stupid, but people still follow them. Like Paul Joseph Watson, you remember him? Blowjob lips, Paul Joseph
Yeah. I
Watson.
remember Paul Joseph
Yeah,
Watson.
yeah. Like there was footage of him going on about how much he hates everyone, blacks and stuff like that, and you know, under his breath, he was basically being racist as fuck, and he got exposed for that. Dust settles, and he's now back. You know, he was in hiding for a little bit, comes out of hiding after a while. You know, and like that shit is already in the past, and it's become
Yep.
yesterday's news. Even though he was exposed for being a proper racist, bigoted fucking twat, you know, but he's able
But
to
what the
continue
problem
still
is
being, yeah.
when your core audience are bigoted, racist twats, then it doesn't really matter because to them you're a fucking hero. Whereas on our
No,
side,
but at the same time, like these are the sort of people who like to do dog whistles, you know, like because they want to maybe align themselves with the odd sellout like Candace Owens and stuff like that. So you know they don't want to be, they don't publicly want to be seen saying the N word or calling somebody the C word, COON word to be more precise when I say C word,
yeah.
you know, stuff like that. But they get caught saying that, but yet yet you know people like Candace Owens will still fucking, you know, roll out the red carpet for somebody like Paul Joseph Watson if he comes to America, you
Oh,
know.
of course.
So it
You
just
know, it's
makes no
useful. It's just
sense.
having your useful idiots, and we've seen how funding for all this kind of right wing news outlets, they don't make a profit at all. They don't profit. They're just funded by billionaires because they need to. Like the Daily Mail
My
is
man,
is yeah. I mean that's perfect. I'd get sworn in on X-Men 92 #1 or
I'll get
X-Men.
sworn in on the latest fucking porn magazine.
They still do those.
Well, I'll find the porn magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, one with pages stuck together.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. I swear to tell the whole
Yeah,
truth and oh my
make sure Stormy Daniels is in
yeah,
it.
that's it. Make
You
sure
know,
Stormy Daniels is in there taking a bung from
yeah,
Trump. And that's the way to
make a press
see the
secretary.
yeah. But you know, the all these like GB News lost 31 million in its first year. Daily Mail is now going to do a bunch of layoffs because they're not making any.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? What the what the what the fuck is going on with this shit?
I don't know. They're trying to get us down. They're trying to silence us. Every time I mention key words, I'm getting silenced, bro. They're after us. But
Yeah,
you know, like yeah, the Sun doesn't run. None of the newspapers run at a profit. Like if Rupert Murdoch didn't have the Fox News stuff now and the TV stuff,
frozen. He was mentioning Fox News and the TV stuff. Yeah, I know exactly what he means. I mean, Rupert Murdoch is a powerhouse person, and he's basically going with the opposite narrative to give people who have a different political spectrum the news that they want, and the news that they want is not necessarily the correct news or the right news. We already saw with those messages that came out, you know, from people like Tucker Carlson and so on, who uh, who obviously despises Donald Trump and had major issues with him, and now Tucker Carlson is doing damage control because Yeah, he doesn't want to be seen on Trump's bad side, even though he hates Trump. And it's weird in the way. I don't know how Trump's going to handle someone like Tucker Carlson, because if Trump was smart, he would destroy, verbally go after him and all of that. At the same time, Tucker Carlson is a useful tool, but if Trump deep down knows that this guy hates him, then what? I mean, I'm sure Trump probably knows a lot of people within the Republican Party hate him. He must know that, surely. I mean, I know he's a bit of a narcissist. He's got a bit of a gold complex, but just because you have those personality traits about you doesn't necessarily mean that you're unaware that people fucking hate you. Surely. I mean, people like Ted Cruz hated fucking Donald Trump. Now he's fucking Donald Trump's chief brown fucking noser. Same with Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and so many other fucking politicians. Even Charlie Kirk. I remember Charlie Kirk hated Donald Trump. Now fucking Charlie Kirk would love to suck Donald Trump's fucking dick. So let me just find out what's happening with Ginger Greek. Let me see what's going on here. What's going on, Ginger? Coming back. Well, I'm back just in the nick of time. What happened?
My internet just went down for some stupid reason. They're out to get me, bro. But it usually drops around this time of night. Where did I disconnect at?
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of like continue. I personally continued with those text messages that came out regarding Tucker Carlson shitting on Donald Trump
Oh yeah,
and
perfect.
how he was doing damage control. And I'm thinking to myself, Donald Trump must know that that these people hate him within his own political party. Like, he can't be oblivious that people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and several others were against him. And even though they side with him because they want to be around power, so they basically give up all their morals. Um, Donald Trump he can't be that oblivious to not know that these people hate him. And
No,
now
he
he found out
knows,
Tucker
but
Carlson.
he loved the fact that he was able to cuck
Yeah,
Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, and people like Tucker Carlson to get on his side because he's like, if you don't, I will fucking destroy you because I have half the country on my side, and I will
Tucker
fucking
Carlson's a
destroy
bit
you.
different though. He's not a politician. He's a news anchor journalist, and I'm wondering if considering he's had a love hate relationship with Fox News, Donald Trump, more hate than love, to be honest with you. You would think that he might go after Tucker Carlson, but Rupert Murdoch's changing the narrative now. Rupert Murdoch's full on Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
Like apparently he's like Ron DeSantis is on Fox News almost every day. And he's even
of
allowed to
course they
sometimes
want
bring up the subject.
Ron
Yeah, they want to do
DeSantis
prisons.
is perfect for them because he's smart and he'll give them exactly what they want, and they'll consolidate more power to the corporations to the point of no return. And so they're definitely going to do everything to try and push him. But Trump has come back and he has beautifully attacked DeSantis. And, it basically, as soon as the disaster, which he helped cause in Ohio, because he deregulated the railways, but as soon as he went there and then he said, hey, hey, we're the Democrats. We're the Democrats. That's right. They're in Ukraine, giving billions and billions of pounds of dollars of your money to Ukraine instead of here to the people of Ohio. As soon as he did that, that was it. He was back in the game. And then he's now gone on the attack against DeSantis and he's crushing him in the polls threefold. Like we're talking 70-20, 75-25. And it's fucking that Fox thought, yeah, DeSantis is perfect. Trump's not going to run. Enemy of my enemy with Trump. Yeah, pretty much. pretty much.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Fox,
personally, like,
yeah, go on.
if I had the choice between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, I'll choose Donald Trump every day of the week because Donald Trump is an egomaniac who only gives a fuck about himself in spotlights. He wants to just see his name on the headlines. He doesn't give a fuck about policy. This is the ultimate podium for him to
Yeah,
just be in the spotlight. That's what he gives a fuck about the most, the spotlight. And if he has to align himself with fascists to do that, then so be it. He will do that. Ron DeSantis is a whole different kettle of fish. He's a man on a mission. He's an educated man, which makes it even more dangerous because he's an educated man with with a terrible outlook on the world, and being
yeah,
ex-military, a lawyer, and all of that sort of stuff. Harvard educated, and he's evil personified. I mean, the way what he's done with Florida regarding books and school teachers and all of that sort of
critical race
shit.
theory and
Yeah,
trans people and all this kind of
these are
stuff.
these are these are these are non-issues, but he's made them issues, and so now by doing that, he's able to take away other things from schools which were never never the issue in the first place. And now that's why when you look at school libraries, there's no fucking books in them.
Yeah,
Because he's
yeah,
banned them all. I mean,
yeah,
this is the country that's supposed to be, this is the party that's supposed to go on about freedom all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And they've banned everything.
yeah,
So,
exactly. But the
yeah,
thing is, as well, look,
yeah,
if I mean, the good thing, the fuck, the good thing with the Republicans is they're, because they have the evangelicals in, they're still trying to crush women's rights and all this kind of stuff. I'm hoping they keep that going because that's going to lose them 2024. Because in the first time in US history, we never got a massive swing on the other side when we had the midterms. Because,
yep,
and the main reason for that was because of abortions.
yeah, yeah.
And people were like, and that's why a lot of the news places shut down that speech. They're like, oh, fuck. Okay, let's move on. Next goalpost. Okay, let's ramp up the anti trans stuff. That seems to be okay because we've managed to rope in white liberal women as well. And they're a very powerful voting wing. And maybe we can sway them over. But the problem is, uh, those white liberal women are also pro-life, pro-choice, and so that the ones that they were trying to get in with the anti-trans rhetoric, they lost because of their pro-life rhetoric. And well, it's not pro-life; it's anti-women. Let's be perfectly honest. They're not pro-life because they want to sentence women to death who get abortions. I mean, the fucking stupidity is
Yep.
immeasurable there.
Yeah.
Then you're not pro-life. We must protect babies. Fucking
And
why
what
there's so many starving babies, and you take them in then, you stupid
and
cunt.
what and once again they'll be targeting blue collared people, and at the same time there are countless stories of rich white collar women having secret abortions.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's these Republican mistresses and God knows what else. Who are actually being anti-abortion themselves. These same Republicans. Like it's crazy. Like if they're not being anti-trans while watching fucking trans porn, they're being anti-fucking abortion while fucking paying for the abortion of one of their fucking mistresses.
Well, who was
It's just
that
or their
ex-football
daughter
player
or
who ran to be a senator or governor in one of the states and he lost? And it was a black guy, and he lost.
oh yeah.
He lost
Something
because
Walker, Herschel
yeah,
Walker.
Herschel Walker. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he lost because in the end, his opponent did the best thing ever, and that was just to basically call him out on his hypocrisy and on his lies because he was such a dumb cunt. Too many concussions,
yeah,
but
but at the
he
same
was
time,
banging
Ginger,
on about pro life, and he's paid for like fucking 7 or 4 abortions.
yeah, but a lot of these right wingers didn't give a fuck. Like all they cared about was Team Republican. You saw some of these people being interviewed who were Republicans, supporters, and Herschel Walker's entire past has been brought up, and many of them don't give a fuck. I mean, if it was Raphael Warnock who had that same past, they'll be all over him for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But for some reason, because they're Team Republican, and this is the difference between the left and the right, because you know, we like to hold our people accountable if they if they're not offering us what we want. whilst in the Republican Party, they don't give a fuck. They'll stick by their
As long
man.
as they're
The only
Republican,
time,
that's all they care about. Yeah.
yeah, as long as they don't mind them being hypocritical, as long as they continue doing certain policies that align themselves with Republicans in the first place. Because like people like Donald Trump, one of the a handful of occasions he ever got almost dismissed by his own cult like following was when he was promoting COVID masks and COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
So when you're a Republican and you're doing the right thing, and you're doing things that are supposed to benefit society, your own fucking supporters will go up against you. I mean, you can't write this fucking shit up.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it's
know what I mean?
it's that's why the film Idiocracy um came out, and as you watch it now, and it's so relevant, just because people really are like, we underestimate, and I say we, but I talk about like Hollywood and all this kind of stuff, that they underestimate how stupid human beings are. And it's the old rhetoric of if we had a zombie apocalypse and all that, you'd have the right wingers who would just be like, whatever, man, protect me, Second Amendment, all this kind of shit, and they go out there and get bitten, and then they'll hide the fact that they're bitten, and then they'll get infected and attack other people. It's that kind of
Hmm.
shit. They're the type of people to hide that they've been bitten by a zombie, and then fucking accuse other people of being bitten by a zombie. And there's, oh, lo and behold, they're now a zombie. It's that kind of stupidity. And that's I mean, one of my things that I'm glad that I always see, like, these news reports of populations are in decline in
Yeah, that
key
made me
in
feel happy.
key countries, basically saying, oh, white man's population is declining. Was, well, hang on a second, Korea and Japan, uh, their population is going to be in massive decline, worse than us over here. So it's not just about the white man, but population decline only hurts capitalism. It doesn't hurt anyone else. Sure, there might be care issues with an aging population, all that, but again, in terms of workforce, it's only the capitalists that get hurt. We as a human society will find ways and we will adapt. But the
Yep.
bourgeoisie have such a rigid system that they've created that they cannot survive. I mean, they fucking melted down when remote working was becoming a thing. They were scrambling, but they've lost
Yeah.
that fight, because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got this big fucking building and it's empty and I have to pay rent on this. No, I want everyone back in. I can't justify this kind of thing. But workers are now saying, fuck you. I could do the job from home. I don't need to come in. I'm about to say that to my work as well. That I don't need to fucking go in, because I literally don't communicate with anyone. I just send emails back and forth with my boss. So I've got my appraisal coming up, and I'm going to be like, I want to just work from home, because I can get a lot more done at home, no distractions. I said the environment where I work is too loud and too distracting, and when I need to record videos, to make how-to stuff and all this kind of things, it's too noisy to do so, and I have to hope that a room is empty and all this. So I'm going to bring all that up, and if they say no, I'll be like, okay, well, that's fine, but just let you know, I will be moving on, because there's just no need, and I want a job just where I purely work from home, because I prefer it. And bosses are losing that fight. They are losing that fight.
Oh,
And
so much so that we could be getting a 4-day work week now implemented.
that's the next
Uh,
thing. That's the
Yeah,
next
and
thing. They
yeah,
wanted people in for no fucking reason, crunching numbers, but then they found, hey, if I give them 4 days a week, they don't have to pad out their work, and they can get all their shit done in less. Mate, the reality is they can get shit done in fucking 3 days if they wanted to. A lot of office stuff is waiting for other cunts to reply to your fucking emails, and it's just this constant waiting thing. But if you get like a set task of things to do, and it's just like, right, this is my stuff, this is what I got to do. It's the same thing with me. I work 2 days a week, and I get shit done within like a day and a half. And a lot of the time, I'm just sitting there waiting for emails to tell me what to do next, where to go next, and all this kind of stuff. And I find that is for a lot of it depends on the job though. Let me be perfectly clear, because where I work, you there needs to be people there 5 days a week at least. I mean, if we could do 7 days a week, trust me, we'd be just as busy 7 days a week as we are 5 days a week. And but a lot of jobs, like stuff like where my friends work, they could do 3 days a week comfortably and produce just as much outcome. Yeah, exactly, Cheeto. It doesn't work in healthcare. It doesn't work in the care industry, but
It doesn't work in the cab driving industry either.
it doesn't work in the cab
But then
driving
again, then
industry
again,
either.
I'm my own job, so I'm my own boss, so I can
Yeah,
start and
you
finish
can
work.
work
And
on.
I do worry that that particular aspect of my job, which I love so much, will one day disappear. Like one day they go, okay, guys, we're going to try something new. We're going to do scheduling. And I'm thinking, fuck you, I'm going to be an Uber driver. You know, if they do that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's
but
it is like yeah. I mean, yeah, there are elements, but I don't think you're there yet. I think because like Addis, the company that you work with is quite high
you can
end.
mention the name.
Oh, okay, with
Addison Lee.
Addison Lee.
Yeah, I'm one of their best drivers.
Yeah.
I'm a five. I'm a five star, five star,
See,
five star, five
five
star,
star,
five
five
star.
star, five star.
I'm a 5 star driver. It's doing my job, Ginger, is so fucking easy. I keep telling people this job is the easiest, but sometimes the most stressful, but definitely the easiest job I've ever done in my life. I was a designated driver before I became a cab driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
carry on.
I
I've
know
just got
what
to
it's
check something.
I know what it's like to drop people home and shit like that. And that's what I'm doing now in this job. It is a bit stressful because sometimes, I get the odd entitled customer or like my job because I drive all the time. I come across more close shaves than most people do, but there's so many dickheads on the road. We live in an overpopulated world. We live in an overpopulated city at this moment in time in London. There's more people in London than London can handle.
Yeah,
And
way too.
unfortunately, we got
Yeah,
and we got people riding bikes who don't fucking follow the fucking like the rules of the road. We got pedestrians too busy looking at their phones and shit like that. We got scooter drivers fucking weaving in and out like all the fucking time. And tailgaters and stuff like that. I mean, because I hate tailgaters so much, and I don't tailgate myself, but because I hate tailgaters so much, I feel that somehow I'm attracting them because I got some people so far up my ass they're giving me an enema while I'm driving, and it really fucking pisses me off. But easy job, I like it. This was never supposed to be my career, by the way. This is what I'm doing now. I've been doing it now for 10 years, and I'm very very good at it, and I'm very happy with the car I got as well. A nice electric car. Welcome, boss man. By the way, what here BBC? Yeah, we've already mentioned that, mate.
yeah.
You're
Talking
coming
about
a
that,
bit late.
I mean, we're an hour and
Um,
42 into the stream.
yeah. That's why when I started wrestling, if I work in London, I'll hit you up, Zan, because you'll get my Tommy hotel safe and sound. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will definitely whatever hotel you need to go to, I'll hook you up. I mean, I managed to get Ginger Creek's mum home, yeah, a few months ago. Safe and sound because you can always count on Zan.
Yeah, I mean,
So
anytime she's due to go Heathrow, I'll definitely be giving you a call. Even if you don't want to charge mates rates, that does because I can't get to Heathrow. Like my knee just swells up ridiculously. Luton and Stansted I could do because they're only 30 minutes from my house.
Living
Uh,
Stands is a piece of piss.
yeah,
And the funny thing is that they are actually, for me, they're actually further away than
yeah,
Heathrow, but
but the
but they're
route to
easier to
get to
get to.
them, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The route to get to
easier
them
to
is
get
easy. I
to.
mean, Luton for you is a fucking piece of piss. It's just the
I'm
A1,
right next to yeah, I'm right next door to the
M1.
M1.
Sorry, M1. I
Yeah,
said A1.
I'm right next door to the M1. You know what I mean? So I can get on the M1 within minutes. Um,
Yeah,
so sorry, man,
exactly.
we're playing D. Listen, boss, man, you need to get me on that D&D shit, man. You know what I mean? Next time you fucking play D&D with your fucking nerds, I want to be part of that shit. I've been dying to play a fucking D&D. All right, need your mum taking care of telegrams and be damn fucking right.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah, absolutely. Um, But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, direct routes, Luton, Heathrow, all this kind of stuff. But we was talking about work and that. But I think we've covered everything we need to cover in that area.
Yeah, we need to get a NerdTube game.
I
I
have
can't fathom how. No
he's
idea.
talking about like Dungeons and Dragons, but I hate Dungeons and Dragons. I've tried playing it a few
I've
times.
I've not even put.
I'm bored
I've
out of my
created my own
fucking head.
character.
Yeah, I
I
tried
created my
with
character. Yeah, go on.
uh,
Sorry.
so I tried a couple of times with Christine and her lot, and I just lose the will to live. And in the end, I was just like, I just disconnect from the game. Say I lost internet connection because I was like, how do fucking people play this? I hate it, but I love that it's a thing, because people love it, and that's fine. It's not for me. My brother
I just need to play
loves
one
Dungeons
game.
and Dragons. You still haven't
I just
played?
need to play. I still want to play one fucking game. I've created my character and all of that shit. You know what I mean? It's a wood elf who gambles a lot and is basically who lives in a fucking pub. You know what I mean? I thought that was the ideal character. Certain elements of me in there as well. I think he owes money too as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I thought this is great. I've created my character now. I just need a game. I just need a fucking game. You know what I mean? Someone for the fucking love of fucking Christ, for the love of Jesus Christ, boss man, give
Speak.
me a fucking
Does
game, man.
Christine not play any?
Christine, I've spoken to her now and again about it, but you know, yeah, I just can't be fucked. You know what I
All
mean?
right. Let me
I mean,
speak to.
I
I'll
spoken to
speak.
her a few times, and she did help me get my character going, but we were supposed to do something and it never materialized, and now I can't be
All right.
fucked.
I'll speak to Abby Normal. You remember Abby Normal, innit?
Yeah, yeah, you still speak to her?
Yeah, all the time, of course. Yeah.
I see
Um.
her on Twitter now and again. I
Yeah.
don't know what she's
I'll
up to.
speak to her to like see if she can invite you to, because I think she plays Dungeons and Dragons quite often, and that. See if I can get
I
you
mean, I
into
might
a
hate.
game there.
I might hate it just as much as you do, but I just want to fucking play it once. But it seems to me that everyone I know fucking plays that shit, and I'm the only motherfucker who hasn't, and it pisses me off. I
Yeah.
need to get this shit. I need to fucking bucket list this shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it'll be good
yeah.
to do like a London version. It's like you throw a six, you walk down the street, somebody looks at you and smiles. You say, "What the fuck you looking at, blood?" You roll three, you pull out a knife. They roll a two, they get out a fire spell and continue to the fiery
Yeah,
depths of South London or some shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I would definitely. You know, actually, I once tried to create a board game a long time ago. I called it School. Yeah, and just to basically run you through it is that you have to do. There'll be like different classrooms on the board, and one will be like history, geography, English, maths, whatever. And whatever classroom you go into, you have to do answer a question to do associated with that topic. So if it's a geography question, you go to geography classroom, you have to do geography. But once you get them all done, you then do your exam at the end, and if you pass your exam by doing answering a question correctly on each one, or maybe getting majority correct and getting the right sort of percentage, you then win the game. That was basically the crux of it. I was trying to add more to it, but it never really materialized. But it was called School, Skool.
School.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
All
about
right.
as far as it went.
Yeah.
Um, Look, I think it's a turn off for the nerd woman I like.
Oh, we're not. We're
What? Who's
not. We're
that?
not doing a you moping about a fucking woman again. In this fucking stream. Shut up. Grow up.
He like he likes every fucking thing on two legs at this moment in
Anything
time.
with a gash on it, he falls in love with. It's just like whatever, man. We're not school kids anymore. You're an adult.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
like someone, you talk to them.
We're
If they
fucking
don't
middle
like you,
aged
get
men
over
now.
it. Huh?
All fucking middle age.
We're all
I, you
middle-aged
know,
men now.
you know me. I like to look for women of the night, but I'm actually trying to find a particular person. I was looking for just before we came online because I really would love to have a proper like back massage and a foot massage. You know what I mean? I want somebody to crack my back. You know what I mean? Before I crack her. So yeah. So I'm looking
Ah,
for something for some
just book a ticket
and
to
something for
Thailand, mate.
Yeah, but even then, like I mean, I wouldn't mind tranny or not. I
I
don't give a
would
fuck. But the point,
fucking.
but
Oh
the
my
point
god.
is, it's just gonna be expensive, isn't it?
What?
To get there. So
To
Thailand.
Thailand? Let's have a look while we're here. Tickets. Bangkok. Actually, let me run
Bangkok is the word. Yeah.
incognito so the cookie doesn't fucking stick with it and start sending me and cheap flights to Bangkok. Let's have a look. I bet it's not cheap.
700 quid, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing. Right. Depart. Let's just say fucking end of March. Come back. Uh, I don't know, whatever. 13th April. One adult economy and nearby direct flights. Don't worry about that. Return such. Jesus fucking Christ. 855 quid.
So it's even more than what I fucking guessed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, or,
fucking. It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, all.
When I went, it was like £280 I went for. But you know, with
Oh god.
yeah, 280 quid. That was a great fucking holiday.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to places like Thailand. You know
It's
what I
good,
mean?
man.
Fuck
It's
the
really
local
good.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ended up, but the irony is, I ended up fucking an Irish bird while I was out there. You know,
Lovely.
all my friends are sitting there like, pulling the local Thai girls and all this kind of shit, and you give them like fucking money and all this kind of stuff. And I pulled an Irish bird who was way out of my league, but I told you, if you could dance and you have a good personality, you'd be amazed sometimes what you can get. And so yeah, I was getting mine away for fucking free. Yeah, not all the nights. It was like 2, 3 nights. Then she fucked off to another part of Thailand, and me and my friends who planned absolutely nothing on this holiday, stuck on one island. Apart from a full moon party, we went to another island, and I was
So
just
it
sitting.
wasn't
I
like
was
the
like,
beach.
God, we're really shit at planning a holiday because we didn't even book a hotel. We got to the island and we went to Koh Samui. We got to the island and we was like, right, let's go find a hotel now. And to be fair, it worked out great because we was paying like £8 or £9 a day, and
Oh
we
god.
had a hut almost by the beach, each, you know, not together, each, and we got very fucking lucky. So
Is Thailand
sometimes,
considered a third world country? Second
uh,
world?
I'd say second world. I wouldn't call it third world. It's very tumultuous there. The military has too much fucking sway and constantly putting the country under fucking martial law. After we left, the country went into martial law, and just before we were there, the country went into martial law. And yeah, it's
And you can get weed there as well, can't you?
no, don't even bother. Don't even fucking bother, mate. If you get caught with weed, you're fucked. And a lot of cops pose as local like dealers.
Drugged it, yeah.
So even just suggesting weed, you get you get fucked, mate.
So what? Prostitution legal out there?
Yeah, I mean prostitution is so how it works basically. You just go to a bar and a bunch of local Thai girls are there.
We
They'll
love you
come
very much.
they'll come
Yeah,
to
all that.
they'll come and talk to you. In fact, I hated it because I was being getting harassed, and I hate being harassed on a normal day. And so I always say, if you want to understand what women go through on a daily basis, go to Thailand. And the way the women harass you there is the same shit that women go through everywhere else in the world. But that's what you do. And you take them back to yours, give them a bit of money, get your end away, all this kind of stuff. But I'm too much of a tight fisted cunt to even do that kind of thing. Like if I'm not
Yeah, man,
banging you for free, it's cheap though. It's
yeah,
like it's nothing. It's like 200-300 baht, which is not a lot of money at all. Let me see. Um,
yeah. I mean, I've been to lap dancing places and stuff like that, and yeah, you got all these fucking women coming up to you trying to talk to you. I'm thinking to myself,
yeah, it's
yeah,
like
you
ten
want
quid.
you want the fucking you just want me to pay you so you can dry hump me. Like, I yeah, it's kind of of a turn up, but you don't want to fucking talk to women. But like, these women are actually charging you just to have a conversation with them. and it's almost like this
Strip
ain't
clubs,
fun.
strip clubs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're
This
not
this
fun.
this ain't this is not fun at all.
No,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I worked in a strip club for 6 months. Not even 6 months. It was like
Oh, for fuck's sake! Why is this happening all the bloody time? Is it Ginger's internet or is it is it me? You know what I mean? I was actually going to as we now talking about banging prostitutes and stuff like that, or sex workers, as some people would prefer to say. I I did a little bit of that when I was in Amsterdam, and I have to say, you know, even though prostitution is legal in even though prostitution is legal in Amsterdam,
us reached this
banging the
for some reason.
yeah,
Anyway,
well, I was just saying that even though prostitution is legal in Amsterdam, shagging the hoes there felt horrible. Like it was like very cold, boring sex. Like even if some of these girls look goddamn gorgeous and you couldn't wait to fuck them, it was so the sex was so lame. You know what I mean? Like you want somebody,
it's what is it like? Yeah, I mean, my friend when he did it, he said it just you feel just disconnected from them, and it's shit. It's hard to get a hard on and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, you want them to you want the person you fucking to want it as much as you do. And some of the people I see in this country who I do the same with, we kind of build a bit of a rapport with each other, so we look forward to it and all of that. And I always treat whoever I'm working with, who I'm paying, I treat them very well. I treat them with respect. I treat them like a human being, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And so we have a good time. But out there, it was fucking shit. It
yeah,
was so fucking shit.
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I'll never,
Um,
I'll never do that again. So I say, but knowing me, I'll fucking do it again. Yeah, well, I am planning on going to Amsterdam, maybe at the
September,
end of the
October, you
year.
said,
So
innit?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll
go
see
for
how
it.
that pans
Hopefully,
out.
yeah, hopefully you get out there. In in Thailand, my favorite one is you go for like just a normal massage and all of that, and then like this like fucking 56-year-old woman will be like, "Hey, you want me to jack you off?" I was like, "No, no, I'm fine. I just want a back massage. I just want a leg massage and all this kind of stuff. I don't need you to finish me off." Um, so it's quite
I
yeah,
just
it's
want to
gone
respond to Boss Man here. Talking of the woman, what the fuck has Sharon Stone
done
uh, fa-
done to her face.
done to her? Look, some of the I remember this one particular woman I banged when I was in Amsterdam. I mean, honestly, she was really gorgeous. Had these huge fake tits, like absolutely humongous. If you look at like something you'd want to get, you'd see in a porn film or something like that. I couldn't wait to fuck the shit out of her. I sodomized her to fucking pieces, but nevertheless, it wasn't uh, all that. Like after the deed was done, I realized just how boring it was. It wasn't a great session. And a lot of these women who work in Amsterdam are very, very attractive, but because they're like, they are constantly shagging, maybe 15 people a day or whatever. Like, who am I? I'm just another fucking, another number to them. They don't give a fuck. They want me to fucking shoot my load and they can get on to the next person again. You know what I mean?
Gary, are you fucking dumb? Seriously, like those are fake. When I say fake lips, what I mean is they're not injected lips. It's a prop.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Now I get what he's talking about.
yeah, no, it's a prop. Just go look at the rest of her feed, and yeah, for her age, she still looks fucking great.
Yeah, yeah. I saw her I saw her in Total Recall. Some clips. I thought, wow, I forgot how she must have been about 32 when she made that film. I genuinely forgot how fucking beautiful she was when she was in her prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, she was
Absolutely
absolutely
gorgeous.
fucking just stunning, stunning, stunning actress. Like
She had a migraine, didn't she? Not
migraine.
migraine. She had brain cancer or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you have you ever seen the movie Casino?
Yeah, love that
Yeah,
film.
I mean her performance in that film she broke away from being just some hot girl everybody wants to wank to. She was so fucking good in that movie. She was brilliant. I think she got nominated. She might have won an Oscar, for best female actress or best supporting female actress.
Let me see.
Um,
She was great in that film, man. Her and fucking, I
yeah,
mean, James Woods. James Woods is one of my all-time favorite actors.
Shame he's a dickhead though.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I don't care. I'm happy to. He's not that controversial, you know. It's just
I don't know. I've seen some of the stuff he's tweeted about, man. He's like John Voight, him, people like him, Tim
yeah,
Allen. You
but
know what I mean?
he's not.
And
Well,
Kevin
I'm not
Sorbo.
defending him. You know, he's a right wing idiot, but I still love him as an
Yeah, great
actor.
actor.
Fucking one of my
Great.
all-time favorites. Let me see. Uh, where does it say public image, independence, film
What are you looking
accolades?
for?
Just
Oh,
Sharon
it's Sharon
Stone.
Stone.
Um, oh, it doesn't fucking say. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Mind you, I should say it right at the top if she's won an Oscar.
Okay, Sharon. It just say Sharon Stone Academy Award.
American actress, symbols. She is recipient of various accolades, Primetime Emmy, a Golden Globe Award, a nomination for Academy Awards. So she never won it. I didn't think so. That's why
In
I had to double check.
1996. Yeah, she got a lot nominated.
Yeah,
Sharon Stone awards Best Actress 1996.
nomination
Yeah, who won it? Nominee
in '96, probably Gwyneth Paltrow.
for what?
That fucking Shakespeare in Love film, I think.
Like wow, Gwyneth Paltrow 96.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, she was around from the fucking '90s. Let's see. Oh, Susan Sarandon. That was one of those. Dead Man Walking.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of
Yeah, it's a
those.
shame she's not doing films anymore. I
Oh,
mean,
it doesn't
talking
matter.
about
She's a fantastic activist, mate. She is fucking based. Absolutely
so just
based. Love Sarandon.
about 65, it's making my is drip. Not that it was
Oh, it was
high
99
too
that
big.
Gwyneth Paltrow won for Shakespeare in Love. Oh, that film was 99. I thought it was.
You talk. I think you talk about the movie 65 with. So what, boss man?
What are you talking
It's not
about? Sorry,
that
just a friend of mine
the
is telling
movie.
me about 65. It's making my is drip, not up, whatever. Speak English, you fucking cunt.
Like I think he mentioned earlier in our group chat that he was upset with the movie that it wasn't reviewed that well. But Jeremy Johns, he did a review of it and he said it was kind of shit and boring and a
But it
little bit
looks
by the
boring.
numbers.
You can tell from the trailer. It is
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
I'm just saying, I'm not too bothered by it. Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
Having
but
the film
the
set
problem
65
is
million years ago, and
they
yeah,
could have
gone.
done it like Jeremy Johns said, and I said it when the trailer popped up. I'm like, why are they revealing that it's Earth? They should have revealed that at the end. A couple of red herrings in there would have been good, and then it just reveals, oh no, he's Earth, and he's 65 million years ago, and the oxygen levels were too fucking high in 65 million years ago. And he would have struggled, but that's
I
neither here
think
nor there.
I think you know how it is with commercials. They need and trailers. They need to almost give the game away in order to get bums on seats.
And well, they say that, but
You know,
that's what old school Hollywood still does, whereas Disney doesn't do that shit. Disney, like the amount of Ant-Man TV spots and all this kind of shit, and it gave hardly anything
are you
away.
serious? Are you serious, Cheeto? I thought Bossman wrote this, but it's Cheeto.
Yeah,
Gwyneth should have
obviously
gone
he's being
Academy.
sarcastic, you dumbass.
Oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Celtic 65 is boring too. Yeah, I mean, Yeah,
I mean, you
apparently,
call it
yeah.
65, and then people should be guessing what is the 65. But no, they just give it away straight away because they know the film's a
Well,
piece of shit. I mean, here's a big giveaway: Sony Pictures. Sony Pictures do not make good films. They're fucking awful. And I know people be like, "Oh, Spider Man." I'm like, fucking Disney is heavy handed in the production of Spider Man. All right. I don't know how people keep thinking it's just Sony that works on those bloody films. But other than that, Sony don't have nothing. So why is anyone surprised about 65 being a piece of shit
you got Morbius, mate. Oh, and they're gonna get Craven the Hunter next year or this year. I have no idea.
next
You
year?
got Craven the
Next year.
fucking
Yeah,
Hunter,
Craven the
man. Oh my
Hunter.
god. I mean,
We've
they're
got
really scraping the barrel.
Madam Spider coming out with Dakota, what's her fucking name? Johnson playing Madam Web. Sorry, not Madam Spider, Madam Web.
Hmm.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of fucking. But the Spider-Man Noir coming out, which is a TV series, which I'm actually interested in. I know it's not Peter Parker, but I don't really, I'm not that rigid where the protagonist needs to be Peter Parker. I want the universe of Noir. And if you want to call Peter Parker someone like Ben Johnson, bend over. That's fine. I don't care. Just make it fucking good. Speaking of Spider Man, moving on to Batman, remember a few months ago about Bruce Timm's Batman show that he had coming out that got cancelled by HBO Max?
Hmm.
That's been bought by Amazon now. So it's kind of good that WB Discovery are okay with licensing out their stuff. That's really good because then that means that the stuff that they don't want to fund, the streaming platforms could do it. And if the streaming platforms pick up some of the stuff, then it it means that we can get a lot more crazier with it. Yeah, yeah. All
Agree.
right, Cheeto, I got there in the end. And speaking of Batman, I just watched the Dark that came to Gotham, the Doom that came to Gotham. First hour, fantastic. Last 29 minutes, whatever, it's just it drags on quite a lot. But still recommend watching it. It's
Is it
very rare.
reanimated?
So yeah, it's one of the animated ones.
Okay.
It's very rare they get Batman wrong. Superman they get wrong a lot of the times, but Batman, I think Hush is really the one that stands out, and I think
Oh,
Bad
the wrong
Blood,
one with Riddler as Hush. Oh, that
yeah,
was awful. That
awful.
was awful.
Awful.
You know what I mean? And also the one where Jim Gordon was Jack the Ripper or something like that.
No, I like
Um,
that one. That was Gotham by
no,
Gaslight or
I
something like that.
I wasn't I wasn't that wasn't a good twist for
You
me.
didn't like
I
that
thought that
one,
was no, I didn't like that twist.
yeah.
I want more Batman Beyond to tell you the truth. I really want more Batman
Yeah,
Beyond
they
in
should
any
bring that back.
capacity.
I mean,
It was very
Amazon.
popular.
If Amazon get it and they do it, that would be fucking fantastic because their animation department is brilliant. So you know, if Warner Brothers Discovery want to license out their animation stuff to Amazon, that would be great. Even Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn at the moment fucking needs a revamp. It's just gone to shit. But I'm hoping with the original showrunner coming back, that season 3 or 4 is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going on DC regarding that Suicide Squad game.
Oh yes, delayed.
We've got Cheeto joining us in a second. Yeah.
Fantastic. Hmm.
Well, they change your name, cheats, before you join us. Um, they uh, they realized with the backlash they were getting from everyone who watched it, because for some reason the game just did a 180. Like one moment it looks like something interesting to play, and then all of a sudden it just, what the fuck is this shit? I couldn't believe it.
It's
And
just there's no
now,
variation with the characters. If everyone's got the same guns, what am I doing? Why am I playing this? So it's got
why the hell
delayed,
is Captain?
but I don't
Yeah,
think they're going to make any changes. I really don't. I think it's just your standard delay that's always expected.
Did you guys finish talking about the animated stuff?
No, no, come right back in.
Oh, no, that's what made. I'm like, I finally got home. I got a chance to eat, and then I'm like, you started talking about DC animation, and I'm like, oh shit, here's my jam.
Yeah, no, we go right back. Listen, we
And
don't. Yeah, go on.
I agree with Zam. I agree with you with Gotham by Gaslight. The Jim Gordon twist was bad in my opinion,
It
but
didn't
the
work
rest
for
of the
me.
movie
It
was
didn't. Yeah.
the rest of the movie to me was fantastic. I
I
loved the whole
can't
thing.
remember if I like the twist or not now. Like, come to think
I'll
about
be
it,
honest with you. I did predict the twist after a while. I did predict it, but it didn't work for me nevertheless.
yeah.
So, and then you said that the Doom that comes to Gotham, you said the first hour is good, and then the
First
last 20
hour,
minutes.
fantastic. The final 20 minutes, it's just a lot of dialogue. It really drags on quite a lot, and it's all very much that white savior complex thing,
Oh
and all
God.
this kind of stuff. But very enjoyable. It's set in the 1930s, and I love when they fucking do that, when they take the essence of the characters and they put them in like that era. I always enjoy that kind of shit. That's why I wanted Blades to be set in that time period as well, because it's just something about it that I just absolutely love. And
I just think it shows a lot of variation and gives freedom to the character and the genre, like and that genre of that character.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
they could have
does.
steampunked it. It would have been fun. You know what I
And it's
mean?
not really a prequel because it's like, yes, we know the world is not going to end, but it's like you can do so much more though beyond that. Like.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Blade's gonna be a prequel." Prequel to like no, like it's not a prequel to like Blade could die at the end. It's not like we've seen him in the MCU and we know he's gonna survive. I mean, he will, but still, like
Yeah. Well, now we don't know what we're fucking getting with Blade because it's a mess.
yeah.
So
And yeah, Hush, fuck that movie. I was so pissed. Like I love the Riddler, but I hated the way they did that.
yeah,
I
well,
love that the Riddler was in the comics was just a guy pulling the strings from jail, and Hush was Tommy Elliott.
yeah.
And then they just went and they did that bullshit with the Riddler. That oh my god, like that frustrated me because Hush is one of my favorite Batman stories, not because it's so good, but just because it's like it was beautifully streamlined. If that makes any
Yes, yeah,
sense.
that's what. But a lot
Actually,
of people always and ah about Hush, but I'm like, no, fuck you. I enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, absolutely fine. But
Mhm.
I enjoyed the comic book.
actually, there was one animated film which I didn't like because it ended up having Selena Kyle as the villain. I think it might have to do with the Court of Owls. I'm not sure. And I thought, wow, this doesn't work for me whatsoever.
I don't know what one
Um,
you're talking about.
I don't
Selena
think so.
Kyle
Selena
is
Kyle, Selena Kyle ends up being the main antagonist.
You sure it wasn't
You
Talia
know,
al Ghul?
yeah, it
no, it
might
was
have been Talia.
definitely Selena.
Oh,
It
right.
was definitely Selena
Oh,
Kyle.
I
And
don't know
I
that
thought,
one.
well,
I
this is
mean,
a
I
bit
know it because
weird. I wasn't feeling.
I've seen every single
Yeah.
one of them. But the Court of Owl one is just Batman versus Robin,
Yeah, and
which is a
Clone of Robin.
phenomenal.
It might not be Court of Owls, but it feels like it has a similar vibe to that. And this person was undercover all the whole time, and you end up finding out that it was Selena Kyle all along. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, what
I
the?
have no idea what you're talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try and remember what it is.
I
When
can't.
we come off stream.
Right now, I have no fucking time.
No.
Like,
Whenever.
is it
What's
recent
Bossman
or
saying?
is it like from the '90s? Like
I can't remember, man. I mean, not 90s. More recent than that. Bossman might know. The Long Halloween animated I enjoyed more
Bossman
than
will
the
probably
boss.
think he knows.
The Long
Yeah.
Halloween was
Actually, even
fantastic.
the Killing Joke
Was
works
shit.
as a comic. The Killing
Yeah.
Joke works as a comic, but you can't be having a laugh and a fucking hey with Joker after he just paralyzed fucking Barbara Gordon. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing, Batman?
Yeah, I
Kill
didn't
this
like
fucker once and for all. You know what I mean? Kill him.
the cartoon at all. I thought it was awful.
Yeah.
They're like,
So
oh,
you realize there's
it's
actually
R
more shit ones than
rated,
we.
and I'm like, so
It was like the first R-rated one, wasn't it?
yeah, it was, but they've had ones that aren't R rated that were better and more
Yeah.
violent.
No. I know. I'm just saying. I think it was the
Yeah,
first R-rated. You know what movie? You know what animated movie? Batman animated movie that is fantastic that I love. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Even though it's not really versus so much.
yeah, I did like that one.
Oh, really? I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that one. The way they did Shredder for me, like Shredder versus Batman was fantastic.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it was when they did all of Batman's villains with the mutagen. I thought that was like, oh, let's check a box here. That was
Yeah.
kind of that part, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, I like the Ra's al Ghul Shredder team up. I liked how the Batman Shredder fight. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm
No,
surprised.
The
sorry.
Batman Shredder fight was great. But
Sorry,
that's
guys.
all I got.
I got my names mixed up. Not Selena Kyle. Vicky Vale. Vicky Vale was the fucking villain.
Oh, the
I'm
reporter.
so sorry. Yeah, not sorry.
I still don't know
Not
which
Selena
one that
Kyle.
is.
Hang on, let me
Sorry,
see.
I apologize. I apologize. Not
Oh,
Selena
that's all
Kyle.
right. That's all right. You know, just
Sorry,
call
it's
you
late
a
here.
dumb cunt and move on. Vicky Vale.
I mean, I seriously I don't even remember this one. Are you talking about the Telltale series?
Oh, it was a Telltale series.
Oh, no
Yeah.
wonder I
Yeah,
couldn't
from
remember it.
Lady
No
Arkham.
wonder.
Yes.
Oh, no wonder I
Yeah, my
couldn't
bad.
remember it. I thought so because I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because I was
okay.
thinking animated movie, but hey, speaking of the Telltale, I thought those were pretty good games. I don't know about you, what you guys thought, but I thought the Telltale games were really good. I was sad that they didn't do
I
a
only
third
played
one.
the first one.
They're not a game.
I only
They're an
played the.
interactive story. They're a fucking game.
Well,
Game.
that's
My,
what I mean.
Yeah.
I liked it. Mother Hubbard, I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't.
yeah, my only problem with the Telltale games is the direction of like the game like there's no real branching paths. It's like you're still following the same path, but you might be okay with it or you might not be okay with it. You know what I mean? You might come across as an asshole or not as an asshole, but the path is still the fucking same.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they might as well
Not
have
really,
just released it as a story and
but
just
there are
fucking not have me
ramifications.
press buttons.
Like you can have Harvey Dent as Two-Face and not as Two-Face. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean, but you're still following a similar path. Anyway, Mr. Orange, Tim Roth himself. Yes, welcome to the streaming. Yeah, Kim Basinger played Vicky Vale, but yeah, so I mistook the Telltale game for an actual television show, but it was such a long fucking time ago. You know what I mean? So it was an easy mistake to make.
have you guys
So,
talked
yeah.
about Gotham Knights, the way that looks yet? I haven't watched anything. I have only seen the poster. I think it looks like it's going to be absolute dog shit.
It's not going to last. They're going to get the season, whatever they filmed, they're going to get it out, and then they're going to cancel it, and that's it.
Gotham Knights. We're talking about a television show here.
Yeah. Not the game, the show.
Yeah, the
That's
show.
Arkham
Yeah,
Knights, isn't
You know,
it?
the one with like young fucking Bruce Wayne and young.
Oh, and Joker's daughter and shit like that.
All that shit, whatever it is.
Oh man, that's CW personified. You know what I mean?
I know. I that's the thing. It's like some of the CW stuff just is so like sometimes they're okay. Like the first couple seasons, well, the first 2 seasons of The Flash were good. Arrow had a good couple seasons, especially the first two. But it's like Legends. I loved Legends. I thought Legends was great. When they leaned into just like, being themselves, like they didn't care. Like they're like, you know what, we're gonna get canceled. We might as well do it. And then they went on for 5 more seasons.
There was always a threat of them being.
This is great.
There were always a threat. Thanks for getting my name meaning so
this
fast.
Is funny.
Something. There's
Mate,
a channel.
We are.
That's
we
my
are
dude
nerd
right
tube,
there.
dude.
Yeah,
We are
That's
nerd
my
tube. Of course,
dude,
we're gonna fucking.
Mr.
We're gonna know
Orange.
you, Tim Roth. Yeah.
I was watching I watch a channel called Townsend, and this is set in a past kind of channel. Everything they do is from the 18th century. Like fucking colonial America stuff, and they'll cook different foods, different recipes, and make different alcoholic beverages and all that. One of the drinks they made, which I know about it living in England, was a drink called an orange fool, and it's a drink hundreds of years old. And the guy got his video thumbed down, and he got abused in the comments section because they thought that the drink was a piss take of Donald Trump. And he was like,
brilliant.
And the next video was like, I don't do politics on this channel. We only talk about the 17th, the 18th century. I don't know what to tell you. If you thought that a drink called Orange Fool was about Donald Trump, that's more on you than it is on me. and I was pissing myself laughing. That is fucking peak MAGA fans
Excuse me,
of a
you
drink.
you cannot
I believe
use
in free
any of
speech.
my references without my permission. I am the orange fool. No one can use it but me.
No one could use it but me. Tremendous. You're in the UK.
And
Tremendous.
UK, Mr. Orange.
Oh,
wonderful.
come
And I
on.
mean,
Can I get an American in here?
No
not too
asshole.
many, man. You got fucking larger population. It's good to have some Brits in here.
That's because
But
we own more land.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
yeah, I was, just thinking that like these same motherfuckers were going about freedom of speech all the time when it comes to fucking being racist and homophobic, but yet the moment somebody who they assume is making a joke about their fucking cult leader in chief in Donald Trump, even though they're not, they'll downvote him and make sure he never says anything again. It's fucking ridiculous. They don't
Yeah.
believe in freedom of speech whatsoever, man. They
Nope.
believe in freedom for me, not for thee.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mr.
So,
Orange, just
yeah,
north of London. Well, you're
we're
near
north
me
of-
then, because I'm in
whereabouts?
right north of London, like the northernmost point of London that you could get. And that's where I am. So if you're just north of London, that would either be Hertford, Hertfordshire, Harlow, Cheshunt,
Radlett.
Hoddesdon. No, Radlett's northwest.
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, he
So,
might still, it still might be
yeah.
that.
You tried
I
to
mean-
silence me just because I said that
See,
I'm American. You tried to silence me. This is a tremendous, not coolness.
You're using my name for some reason.
that's just that's too good. That they tried to silence you because they thought you were actually Trump talking. It's Fox News coming after you.
God, don't even get me started on that moron.
Yeah,
I was listening to you guys earlier, though. I agree. Like, I'd rather have an idiot like Trump than a menace like DeSantis.
yeah, literal fascist.
Yeah, he would destroy democracy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Donald Trump tried to do that as well.
Yeah, but he's an idiot.
Yeah,
At least
he's an incompetent idiot. Yeah, for sure.
He's an
Yeah, but
idiot that threw everything into chaos and nothing stuck apart from tax breaks for the rich. So, woohoo!
yeah. Well, I mean,
it just
but
worried me
it's
that
literally pick your evil, nowadays, and I hate
yeah,
it.
it is. They're all
No, but
fucking.
what concerns me is that if he decided not to, relinquish power, if he lost another election, he might do that this time because he'll have people like if he'll have a more competent vice president who won't do that traditional thing of calling the election calling the opposition president, like what vice president like Mike Pence had to do. All of that, he might get the people who will be more competent towards him, which concerns me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want neither of those motherfuckers in power. It's yeah.
I don't know.
Still,
I
I'll
could go
take
for
Trump.
another round of Trump. He was fucking hilarious. I mean, America's fucked anyway. Can't get any worse. So I'll say bring back the orange tool.
The rhetoric towards the rhetoric towards Chinese people. Like I once had to pick up this one Chinese person
China.
who I took to a Chinese broadcasting news network thing here in London, and we're speaking about it and like the racism they're receiving now because of coronavirus and it being called the China virus and stuff like that is because of people like Donald Trump. He did that, and it was really funny as well because this Thai family. I saw this thing I read about this Thai family, this Thai mum and daughter. They were saying that maybe we should speak Thai so people don't think we're Chinese. And the mother said to the daughter, "That's very sweet, darling, but you don't expect racists to know the fucking difference." You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like we
Yeah,
get the clip of a person on a bus in Wales yelling at these people to speak English, and they're like, "Fuck you, we're talking Welsh, and we're in Wales." There's that, but they didn't fucking know.
Yeah, and I see in America all the time you got some fucking Karen telling Spanish people speaking people Latin Americans to speak English. They're in America or to speak American because they're in America. But then I go back to the old adage. Freedom, you know what I mean? You're allowed to. What happened to freedom? Like, aren't you allowed to fucking speak what you want? That's the whole point. You go on about freedom all the fucking time. And the moment these motherfuckers they do using their freedom to speak a language that you don't understand, you have a fucking hissy fit over that. Fuck's sake.
I know. I don't. I mean,
Um,
I don't have. I don't. I have a problem with the way Gary talks sometimes. I mean, that's like a foreign language.
He's from Manchester. What do you expect?
Yeah,
I think
he's
the flash
northern.
went on the way too long. Gary said, Mr. Orange said, love how Biden pronounced Rishi's name when he congratulated him. Have you seen it? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm probably sure he fucked
I
up
remember
a
something
fucking
about it, but I forgot.
shitty fucking. I call him shitty Shumac. And, he's a cunt. He's a disgrace to my fucking race, and he's a sellout wank stain, philanthropist, billionaire motherfucker who doesn't give a shit about anyone. He's what I like to call people like him, people like Pretty Patel, all these people, even in America, people like Candace Owens and Blair White and all that. I call these people agents of white supremacy.
Yeah,
They think that they are willing to sell out even themselves, if it means for a quick buck, to people who would probably end up killing them if they had the opportunity to. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely,
So yeah, the
absolutely.
agents of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Just drink bleach and put the light inside your body was Trump's finest moment. The poor lady. Well, you know what? By the way, this is very important, Mr.
Oh
Orange,
my
and to everyone
brother.
else, because if you mention the word bleach, yeah, Trump fans will say he never said bleach, which he didn't. He said disinfectant. So make sure that when you use this terminology, you say disinfectant because they'll fucking say he never said bleach. And I always use the term disinfectant because that's what he said about injecting the disinfectant into your body. I mean, Jesus Christ, this guy's supposed to be president of the United States and he does that shit. He says that. I mean, everyone knows that you're not supposed to fucking. Even I know for some reason by never being told that you're not supposed to drink disinfectant or inject it or anything like that. And I've known that from a fucking very young age. And here's this motherfucker in his 70s suggesting to fucking inject it. What the fuck?
Mate, you
You know
don't
what
even
I
need
mean?
someone in their 70s. You see the fucking TikTok challenges of people eating fucking Tide Pods and all this kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Humans are just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
idiots. Rishi is
The
the
Tide Pod
whitest Asian
challenge.
I've ever seen. Rishi, I'd be surprised if he hung out with any Asian people outside of his family.
You know what I don't like about Rishi Sunak, and I put people like Betsy DeVos in this category as well, is that they're smilers and they smile all the fucking time. They're always happy, happy, happy. I used to work for a Mormon boss, and he was always like happy, happy, like fucking Ned Flanders walking into the fucking building. You know what I mean? And I just find that so fake. You can't be that happy all the time. I mean, you could be cool and you could be content. You don't have to constantly show that you're smiling all the fucking time. I'm just not gonna buy it. It's fucking bullshit. And Rishi Sunak is fucking bullshit. I fucking hate the guy. I really despise the guy. And him and his fucking predecessor, Liz fucking don't trust. You know what I mean? Didn't get voted in by the general public, and yet they end up being the most powerful people in the country. It's just fucking ridiculous. Our democracy is a joke. We honestly, it's a fucking joke. We don't have one.
Yeah.
We
I
don't have
mean,
one.
if you have constant leadership changes that aren't as a result of health problems, then fucking hell, you need to go to a general election, especially when they're ousted because there's chaos within the party. If there's chaos within the party, it means they can't fucking govern. So you go back to have an election. It's ridiculous.
And pisses me off is that this time round, that I'll be very excited about a general election, but considering Keir Starmer's turned the Labour Party into the red Tory party, it's just going to be the same old shit, but with a different person in charge. And
Yeah, nothing's going to
yeah,
change under thingy. Nothing's going to change. But Labour are in for a rude awakening in the by-elections that follow, because the Greens are gonna start swallowing up a lot of Labour councils and the Labour constituencies.
no, I'm going to
And
vote Green then.
yeah, I'm voting Green in the next election because they've publicly said that they've finally fucking put out full on left wing uh you know policies out there, was usually they're just kind of center left, but they're going for now. Whether they'll do that if they're in
About
power,
fucking time.
I highly doubt it. But in my constituency, I'm either going to vote Tusk or Green. That's it.
So Bossman said Joe Rogan put out medicines that don't work. Yeah, he was ivermectin and stuff like that. But that's the thing. Unfortunately, people like him, they have powerful platforms and they're able to. And people will rather listen to Joe Rogan, who's had a million concussions and fucking agrees with everybody from every political spectrum who, you know what I mean, or an actual scientist who knows their fucking shit.
Just
You know
want
what
to
I mean?
read
A
Mr.
Rogan or a
Orange.
scientist?
It
Yeah, no
goes,
problem. I'm
the
gonna pull it
interviewer, when he
up.
said he had upper class friends, middle class friends, and working class friends. Well, not working class friends. Yeah, that's Rishi Sunak in a nutshell. He wouldn't fucking know working class.
Yeah,
He is like the Asian version of Prince Charles. He just doesn't fucking know a hard day's
yeah.
work. He doesn't know anything. He probably doesn't even wipe his own ass. Yeah, the guy is so privileged, and his wife is like, I mean, this is the richest prime minister in history.
Wait, we're supposed to wipe our ass?
Well, you could drag it on the floor if you want, like a dog.
You voted
You
Lib
American dog.
Dems. I mean, I guess they're better than Conservatives, but yeah, as long as it's not the Tories in power, I
It just,
guess. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, yeah,
I'm willing to give other people a shot.
it depends. It always depends on the area. Like a lot of the times, like MPs that are Tories will constantly win their seats because they do good within their constituency. But the Tories are so bad that even Barnet, like my brother's area of Barnet, where the Tories have kind of ruled for
I'm
years,
buying it.
yeah, they lost. They fucking lost that part of Barnet for the first time in God knows how many years. And people were pissed off because they're like, if we get a fucking Labour council, that just means fucking road works everywhere and they're going to fuck up the roads and they're going to fuck everything up. And so this is the problem we have, you know. Some people will just vote because their MP happens to be decent. Whereas in my constituency, my MP was the one that got caught in the fucking Al Jazeera scandal of taking bribes from Israeli embassy to kind of help sabotage the election.
Some people are stuck in their ways as well, Ginger.
And some people
Like,
are stuck in their ways, but that's
like,
the people
like
that don't follow
they'll blame the
politics
Tories.
at all.
So I saw a couple of TikToks. People blaming the Tories for what's happening. You ask them who they're going to vote for. Tory. Like, you
Yeah,
just blame them, and then you're still going to vote for them. Like, like, haven't you learned anything? Like, they're so stuck in their ways. I was even talking to my dad about Rishi Sunak just before I came on here, and he thinks he's all right. I'm thinking to myself, no, he's not, Dad. Don't let him fool you. And I get a bit worried because sometimes I'm watching my dad flicking through the channels, and you know one of the channels he's got to watch, GBN News. I go,
oh my god,
no,
he's
no,
old
Dad.
and he'll keep falling for. Listen, put him some Novara Media on at 6 o'clock Monday to Friday, just so he can get fucking real news.
Every time GBN News, I told Dad this is shit. Don't watch these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I actually pick people up from GBN News, by the way, in my cab.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah, so, um,
They're all corrupt,
well,
and it's the
it's like,
case of
well,
picking the least worst. Yeah, not wrong.
I'd have care because he knows about Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah. So, but you put Ireland that way.
Kid doesn't. I wouldn't fucking. I don't want any of these cunts. I'd rather burn the whole bloody state down to the ground.
Keir is he's establishment personified, dude.
Yeah.
They're all corrupt, and it's easy. It's the case of picking the least. Yeah, it's the turd sandwich douche debate, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean, so, but I'm very disillusioned at this moment in time regarding voting. You know, and I don't. There's very little. I mean, I will vote. I'm not going to not vote because then you're going to get somebody who you don't want to be in power remain in power, or somebody else get voted into power. You still have to vote, but I'm very disheartened, disillusioned by it, unfortunately.
I mean, listen, I've only ever voted. I've only ever voted for Labour under Corbyn. I never voted for Labour before that because Labour in my area, the council is so shit, so shit. But people just keep fucking voting them in, and it's so frustrating. It's just like, what are you doing? Stop fucking voting for these idiots.
What's the name of our London mayor?
Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan's also Labour as well. Yeah, and in my opinion, where he's taken London recently is not good as the London mayor. Like, as a cab driver, like, what have you done to the roads, mate?
All the LTNs and all this shit.
all rights of ways and
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
times of day and ULEZ and all. I was like, for fuck's sake, bro, what have you done? You know,
Yeah.
like you've just made it so
They,
difficult for
they've cut.
me and for
See,
everyone.
Labor have cut to the hummus brigade, the fucking middle class white cunts that are coming in, gentrifying areas. And Cheeto, we're going to change the subject in a second. Don't worry, we don't want to just talk politics.
No,
Here.
you're talking about middle class white cunts. So I mean,
No, no,
I
no.
just
Middle class in the UK is not. It's middle class white cunts in the UK is what you would
I
consider
was
like,
kidding.
yeah, people earning about 150K US and above.
Yeah,
That's middle class in the UK. We have working class,
yeah.
middle
Middle
class,
class are
and
quite
then
well off.
upper class. Yeah, so the
Oh
middle
yeah,
class in
no,
the
I
UK,
ain't work.
they're very well off. They earn like 80, 90, 100,000 pounds a year. And these cunts, they come into these fucking areas that are full of people like us, foreigners, and they just insist, impose, and bully the councils into putting in all these fucking low traffic network things, which means they close roads. You can't go down these fucking roads because they want everyone walking and cycling and everything's pink and nice and fucking roses and rainbows. But that's not the reality because you've driven up the rent in my area, you've driven up the rates in my area, so the businesses can't fucking survive and the people have to move from the area that they love now because you're there out further out and they drive back in
Yeah,
because public transport
gentrifying.
is too fucking expensive. And so all they're doing is they're just making excuses to raise more revenues. And I hate these fuckers, and London is infested with it. And I hate it. And it's mainly in Labour run boroughs that they do it. And it sickens me because Barnet doesn't have any of that. Barnet doesn't have none of that. Barnet is fucking open, whereas
You know,
Enfield is
yeah.
just full of it now.
I
Harrogate,
actually
fucking
take for
forget it,
granted how great a borough Barnet is. Actually, as somebody, I'm very lucky to be living in this borough.
because it was
It's a
Tory
very good.
run. They didn't do anything. They just left it as is. You know,
I'm also
they
like I'm also living in like a very Jewish area, and the Jews they fucking know how to take care of their
yeah,
areas,
and the
mate. You
Jews are
know,
just like, hey, no changes.
yeah, they really take good care of their local areas as well. So I'm very lucky for that too. So
I'm working
uh,
class and I'm better off voting blue, but always got red. But agree, they're too soft. They're not soft on welfare. No, that's the perception people have. They're not soft on welfare in this country at all. Neither the Reds nor the Blues, because Tony Blair's Labour did a lot of shit uh, to people. Because I was unemployed for a brief period of time under Labour, and they put in some changes that really made it fucking more difficult and more restrictive and very draconian. And now under the Tories, it's ridiculous. But they're going after the welfare people. Do you know? Do you know how much welfare fraud costs this country every year? I work in an office. We deal with these statistics. 4 billion. 4 billion. That's how much welfare. Do you know how much tax is dodged every year? Over 200 billion.
I'm about to say it's gonna be quite high.
That's the
Yeah,
difference. But what is the press telling you to do? The press is telling you, hey, that guy there that's stealing an extra £100 or £200 a month is the bad
yeah,
guy. But the guy that's
yeah.
stealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, 100 million every year is the good guy. But ignore
Blame the
that.
fucker on benefits.
Ignore that. That's what's destroying society and public services. But focus on what's costing us nothing. So people that you need to get that, please. I
What's it
work
Gallagher?
in an office that deals with this kind of stuff, and that rhetoric needs to die. Do not, unless you come to me with the same vitriol and and drive to punish rich tax dodgers. I don't ever want to fucking hear about welfare cheats. I don't. I've blocked friends on social media because they keep blaming the poor for everything, and I'm like, no, that's unacceptable. GB News.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, Kirsty Gallagher still looks fucking hot, and she's almost 50.
Is she on GB News?
I had no idea because she was a sport presenter.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
I'm
fucking
surprised.
surprised. Everyone in news media is bloody right wing. But anyway, let's change the subject because we've done politics. So, Cheeto, anything you want to talk about?
No. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
No
there's
worries,
not
Mr.
really much
Orange.
to talk about Marvel. There's not really much to talk about. I mean, we talked DC, Star Wars. We've kind of talked about on the Mando, so we're kind of
Well,
fucking over on
it
that,
just
unless Zam has something to bring up.
well, in just under 24 hours, we're doing a Star Trek fan film reaction, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so let me quickly the last comment here. I totally understand what you're saying, and thanks for bringing that to my attention. You're welcome.
Yeah,
So,
no worries.
yeah, tomorrow we're doing a Star Trek fan film reaction, and what we're doing, Ginge, is that we're not only going to review the film. We got Vance Major reviewing it as well, and he's like the chief fan film maker. So he's going to be joining us in the reviewing process. So it's going to be like the fucking Apprentice on our channel tomorrow, and on top of that, we're going to be interviewing the fan filmmakers as well.
Well,
One
brilliant.
of the
I'll tune into
people,
that.
one of the
I'll
people
answer that
who,
in a minute, Mr. Orange. Sorry, go on, Zam.
one of the people who's making those fan films asked us to react to the trailer and then react to the fan film afterwards. I'm thinking to myself, what's the fucking point?
Nah, there's no point.
Yeah, like
We're
if
gonna,
the fan film was still a month or two out, I would say okay, but it's like, yeah, it makes no sense to do the trailer and then the fan film. It's like,
Yeah.
fan film's here. Like we can do it that.
Right,
We'll just
let's-
watch the long trailer, which is the fan film.
Yeah.
What's
Best
concerning me the
Tarantino
most
film.
is
Pulp Fiction for me. It's a classic. I
oh,
love it.
oh, I like Pulp Fiction. I also like Reservoir Dogs, but there's one film which he didn't direct, but I think he wrote, which is one of my favorites. Is True Romance.
Yeah, love that.
I
Film.
love that film. So I love that film so fucking much.
Yeah,
It was a recent stuff. I'm not a fan of Once
big
Upon a
fan
Time
of
in Hollywood.
Django as well. Sorry, go on. Zam.
I'm not a fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I did, as well as Jackie Brown. But I did like Hateful Eight a lot. I thought Hateful Eight was brilliant. I did enjoy my time with that film.
Oh, that was a beautiful film.
I don't watch a lot of
Russell and Samuel
Tarantino,
Jackson.
but I enjoyed Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I didn't
Inglourious
like
Basterds
that's
is good as well.
yeah. Reservoir
Not
Dogs
bad.
and Inglorious Bastards are the two Tarantino films I don't like. Funnily enough, I don't know why. Reservoir Dogs, when it came out here, it was like such a big thing because it was banned in the UK and all of that, so you had to pay like silly
Really?
money to get it. And
Yeah.
it was banned. Yeah, I remember watching it. I was like, this is shit. It's just a bunch of fucking. All I'm hearing is Tarantino's voice in 6 different actors.
Well, I heard from Barry Norman how violent the movie was, but I was very young, so I never really appreciated it watching it at like 11 years old or whatever age I was at the time when I saw it. But then watching it as an adult, I thought, wow, this was fucking amazing.
Mate, Reservoir Dogs came out in 1992 or 3.
Two.
In 92.
So I must have been,
He
all right,
was-
fine, I must have been about 14, 15.
Yeah.
So I still couldn't really appreciate it that much at that age. But I heard it was ultra violent, and yes, there was violence in it, but I expected wall to wall, but it was just also to do with clever dialogue as well.
Yeah, compared to
yeah.
the stuff we grew up with in the 80s, it was very tame. It was just a guy who got shot in the stomach and there was a bit of blood and some torture, and it's just like
Even though you didn't really see the torture that much, because the moment
nah.
Mr. Blonde started cutting on that cop's ear, they cut away from that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
stuff like that. And you hear the stories of Mr. Blonde just going, full psychopath at everyone in the bank, but you never really you don't see it at all. And there's a couple of other people who've been killed, but you don't see their deaths, like Mr. Blue, and all of that. I just want to quickly go back to the fan film because we are going to not only watch the fan film, we're going to then interview the people who made the fan film straight after reacting to it. So we might watch the fan film, say it's fucking shit, I fucking hate it. You know what I mean? This is the biggest pile of shits.
You will say it's the biggest pile of shit and you fucking hated it.
And then we go, hello guys. Yeah, we're gonna interview you guys now. and stuff like that. So how did you make the fan film after I just told them how shit it was?
You
It
should
might-
just
maybe
stare at the
they-
camera. It just says, "Your film is a pile of shit. Discuss." And then just stare at them like that. Right,
Well,
Mr.
there's a
Orange,
guy-
best sports film.
The Game Plan.
What the fuck is that? Is
It's
that
with The Rock and his daughter. And...
Rocky 4 maybe.
Oh god, I can't. Yeah, I forgot boxing is technically a sport. That's like saying WWE is a sport. It's entertainment.
Ready
I
to
was-
Rumble. You know what?
Major League.
I like Ready to Rumble. I know people don't, but I love that movie.
Is that with Hulk Hogan?
No, that's the one with
Oh, that was not Holds
with
Barred.
Diamond Dallas Page. He plays the villain in the, you know, it's got what's his face in it? Scott Kahn and David Arquette and
Angels in the Outfield.
Oh,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah, I know
That's
the
a great
one.
sports movie.
Yeah, another one.
Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks. Yes.
Mighty
Fuck.
Ducks for the win. Slapshot.
That sounds like hockey.
Yeah, it's definitely a hockey film. I don't.
Have you seen the movie Goal? Goal's all right, man. The
Goal's
first
all
one.
right. Yeah, Goal's okay, but
Yeah,
it's
the
not
first
one of my
one-
favorites. Waterboy. Waterboy.
Escape
really
to
love.
Victory. How can people Escape to Victory is fucking amazing, man.
Yeah,
You got
it's all
Sylvester Stallone in goal. You got Sylvester, you got fucking Pele and and all these motherfuckers and Michael Caine and they're playing football against the Nazis, mate. I love that film. I love
Yeah.
that film. It's great. It's absolutely great. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it as a kid. I thought to myself, Rocky's in goal and he's playing with Pele. What the
Yeah,
hell's
that-
going on here?
Yeah. Coach, I tell you what, sorry, 1 second. If you're speaking Coach Carter, Mr. Orange, a better version of that is a film called 187, which is still with
Samuel L. Jackson.
with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he kills himself at the end. I remember
fucking
that.
awesome. God damn, I love that
Yeah.
film so much.
Actually, if we're going to do those sort of films, I would say definitely Dodgeball. That is hilarious. You know what I mean?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Rest in peace, Rip Torn.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean-
Rip Torn so much.
Rip
Yeah.
Torn was the star of the Larry Sanders Show for me.
Yeah, so-
he was the best part of that. Was it Larry Sanders? Yeah, I think it was.
Looking down.
But,
his
well,
sport.
in England it was called Mean Machine, but in
Mean
America
Machine.
it was called the longest. It was called the
The
longest,
longest
yard.
yard, yeah.
But the Vinnie Jones version of Mean Machine is pretty good as
It's
well.
good, very good. Yeah,
Yeah,
had Jason
yeah.
Statham in goal and Danny Dyer, and
Yeah, Jason Statham,
great film.
Mad Scotsman.
Yeah,
Well, they
Rookie
could have
of
got a
the
real
Year.
Mad Scotsman.
yeah.
Yeah,
Field of
but-
Dreams, great film.
Yeah, if you
Rookie,
build it, they
Rookie
will
of the
come.
Year, is that the one with the kid with the arm?
Yeah, the kid with the.
Love that film. Fucking great
That's so
film.
stupid.
With John Candy as the commentator.
Yeah, back then, like Kevin Costner, he liked to do all these sort of like big, ambitious movies, didn't he? But then he had to. After that, he made The Postman and it stopped. I actually did like Waterworld. I thought Waterworld was all right. Mad Max on Water, I thought it was exactly that.
Mate, Waterworld
But,
was so bad it's good.
I enjoy Waterworld,
Yeah.
but the Postman's fucking shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Cool
I mean-
Runnings. I love Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings is awesome.
Feel the
It's
rhythm,
awesome.
feel the ride. Jamaica bobsleigh
Yeah.
team. It's bobsleighing time. Great film.
Yeah. And actually, Bull Durham's okay. I feel League of Their Own.
Durham's
League of
great.
Their Own-
It's like a
League
kind
of-
of
yeah.
satire. Film.
Favorite retro game?
Streets
Star
of Rage.
Fox 64.
Star Fox 64. Dude, you and my son would get along. He loves that game.
That's okay. That
It's
game is
fucking
amazing, man.
It's
a
an
great
Independence
game,
Day
and
rip off in one level. I remember that.
yeah, that's what I liked about it. I remember that too, and it's just such a really good game. And but the space
Ginger's
was-
getting out his spreadsheet now. He's like, "Oh, I gotta figure out what my favorite."
No,
What'd
I
you
said
say
Streets
earlier?
of Rage.
Wait,
Oh,
Streets of
Streets of
Rage
Rage.
2.
Yeah, Cool
Streets of
Runnings.
Rage
It's
2.
Sonic. There's
Sonic. Which Sonic though? Because the
Yeah.
first one's okay, but all the sequels that followed, like Sonic and Knuckles, is my favorite Sonic game.
Oh yeah,
Bad
I love
Dudes
Knuckles.
versus
I think
Dragon
Knuckles is
Ninja.
great.
Outrun's a classic, but I found those games a bit boring.
Alter Beast.
What do you, I mean? What do you consider?
Speedball 2.
I mean, what do you consider retro? 20 years more? 30 years or more? Like
20
Yeah,
years.
GoldenEye,
Let's
all
say
of that. You know what I mean?
let's say Unreal 2 engine era. We'll go that.
20 years or so from 2003 and before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how old we are.
Was
Double
Metal Gear
Dragon,
Solid 2?
classic. Golden Axe, classic.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was that?
That's a classic.
Link's
Yeah.
Awakening,
Yeah.
fantastic. I love
Link's Awakening, my favorite Zelda game on the
Yeah, I
Game
was about
Boy.
to say that's probably my favorite Zelda and probably my favorite Game Boy game, probably.
Yeah, same. Yep, easily my favorite Game Boy game, followed by Tetris, obviously. Followed by probably Super Mario or Wario World, one of them. Super Mario
What
Land.
was the one where Wario's the bad guy and you go around on the island? That's a Game Boy game too.
Yeah, Wario World.
Was that Wario World?
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry. I mean, playing a game where
Wait a
you're
minute.
actually trying to get laid is like, for me, that was genius
That's
back in the
Great
day.
game. Leisure Suit Larry, classic.
Yeah, the original.
I don't even know what that
007.
game is.
On the N64. Oh yeah, GoldenEye.
Well, Cheeto, I'm not surprised that you don't know that fucking game. You know what I mean?
Too sexual for you, baby.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah, mate. GoldenEye is
Super Mario Land 2 and the Golden Coins. That's the one.
Is that with Wario?
Yeah, the Wario's that's the first
Afterburner was
Wario
awesome,
appearance.
man.
That's the first Wario appearance, but they made a Wario game.
No, I know that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But I'm talking about this one right here.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah, that's one of my favorite games on the Game Boy. Yeah. Love it.
Afterburner was fucking awesome.
Afterburner.
Yeah.
In Hamleys in the UK, they had an entire simulator where you strap in and it goes like fucking all over, like them kind of gyro spinner thingies. They had that.
Yeah.
What I heard is that Ginger likes
Brilliant.
to get a strap on.
Always 24/7, baby.
Yeah, some retro. I mean, I've actually like reinstalled some of the old Assassin's Creed games on my PS5 because I'm just not interested in current day gaming at the moment. Some of the games that's coming out recently are just so shit, and then like Hogwarts Legacy for me feels like a throwback of yesteryear. When it comes to depth and everything, like they're not making games like that anymore.
No, but that's why it's sold so well.
Yeah.
Master System, I never had that. I had the Mega Drive though, which I absolutely adore. The Master System.
I'm
Drive.
so old. I had a Commodore
Earthworm Jim. Oh, yeah. I mean, we were Atari 2600 era. We're fucking old, but
yeah, we were there when gaming began.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean?
Especially in the UK. Like I know, like for the States they had like the big gaming crash, but in the UK, like, oh man, the fucking 80s were phenomenal. All the microcomputer era, the Amiga 500, all this kind of shit.
Just playing an arcade machine just felt so.
And the arcades, 20p a go, Ninja Turtles arcade, one of the best games ever made.
Who Turned the Lights Out?
Yeah, Who Turned the Lights Out? Yeah. Daley Thompson.
I remember Track and Field was awesome, by the way. But I remember when I first saw Virtual Fighter, it was like the first 3D game I saw, and it was an arcade game, and it's like, wow, I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Yeah,
and it was remarkable.
Do you remember the Sonic 3D game where the controller was a ball in the arcades? You had to like. That's how you move.
You ever played the Trocadero?
Huh? Yeah, it was in the Trocadero.
I played it all the time when I was a kid.
You guys want to hear white privilege at its best?
Go for it, Cheeto.
Please do.
My white privilege at its best. I had Sega Channel.
What the hell, Sega Channel?
You have no idea what Sega Channel is?
It sounds American.
Shit, it is very American.
That's American privilege there.
Yeah, right. So it came in this huge cartridge. It's like it was probably as big as a tablet. Like I can't even like something like this size. Like, but you'd plug it into your Sega. You would have to connect it to a TV line, like an actual TV line or something like that. And then you could play like it's essentially online games like before it was a thing.
Yeah.
Look up Sega Channel. I'm telling you.
I will have a look at it. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's done a full
That sounds so fucking cool.
I mean, we had it
Yeah.
for like, and I mean, it probably cost like my parents like $50 a month or something like that. But I mean, it was. I remember,
Jesus.
and it's like oh shit, like the Switch has now with all the games that they kind of like they would just bring new games on randomly, and then some of them would go off, but yeah, no, it was fucking. I can't believe you guys have never heard of Sega Channel.
Nope.
Mr. Orange said he used to play a game called Golden Shot on the arcade machine.
Oh,
It's-
that's a Donald Trump special right there.
Did
Yeah,
you guys ever play Jet Set Willy?
of course.
I've
Yeah,
never
that
played Jet
was
Set.
pretty. Yeah. It's very simple. You just the guy on the rock with a rocket pack, and you just got to find like 3 or 4 pieces of your ship, put them together, and shoot off to the next level.
Yeah.
It's-
And Toe Jam and L made a whole game of finding your ship and putting it back together. Classic.
yeah,
Absolutely classic. I was so disappointed with because I funded the Kickstarter of the remake, and it was good. It was working, but it wasn't fun like the other one. Like the boxes that you get, they kind of messed it up. They messed up the kind of the boxes, and I was quite disappointed in the end. It kind of didn't have the same feel of the original, even though it was a carbon copy of it. But I loved Toe Jam and Earl, the OG. Then the sequel was a fucking stupid side-scrolling 2D game. It's like, what the fuck am I meant to do with this shit? It's just generic.
never got into Toe Jam and Earl, unfortunately.
Oh, I
But
loved it.
guys, I'm running out of gas, and I need to.
Well,
Oh,
we're
is
hitting
that?
3 hours, so I mean,
Yeah,
need to
we
go.
could
If
jump
you guys
off.
want to continue, please
Tuck the
do. I
Cheeto.
mean, but
Yeah,
you gonna
I don't
continue?
care. I've got a little bit of time on my hands.
yeah,
All
we
right,
could
fine.
carry on. Zam, thank
I'll
you
see you
for
guys later.
yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you
mate.
very much. Take care, Mr. Orange. Don't forget to subscribe, mate, because we are the greatest channel you never heard of.
Oh,
All right,
you're
I'll
off
see
to
you
bed
guys
as
later.
well, mate. All right, mate. You take care. Yeah,
Bye
subscribe
bye.
though. See you, Zam. Take care. Hey, baby. It's
Hey.
just you and I.
This is Ginger Cheeto After Dark.
That's right. This is NerdTube After Dark, baby. Welcome. Things are gonna get sticky.
I don't know. What was your favorite fighter growing up?
Oh, so if we're talking about like a Street Fighter type games, yeah,
Yeah,
is that
like
what
a
you mean?
2D side.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Okay, so we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 2, without a shadow of a doubt. I loved my Street Fighter games, but Mortal Kombat 2 was phenomenal. Funny story with Street Fighter is a friend of mine that played it. He was one of the best players in the UK. He could fucking take on absolutely anyone and destroy them. We used to go around London and just play people in tournaments. Well, not me because I absolutely sucked, but I'd go there for support, and I always carried a knife on me in case things got sticky. But then, because I was the brawler of the group.
You're the bouncer, yeah.
Yeah. I was a brawler of the group. I'm not the tallest guy, but I'm dirty and I'll get shit, sorted if needed. So he used to go around and he never fucking lost. Never fucking lost a game. It's insanely good. But yeah, for me, Mortal Kombat 2, I loved it.
I mean, I'm pretty much right there too. I never got into Street Fighter. My friend Marcus was huge into Street Fighter. He
looks the type.
Yeah, like he was
Yeah.
so Street Fighter, and I was like, and I mean, it's not like we fought over because I'm not a big fighter game person, but like back then it was just like it was like Mortal Kombat, Double Dragon. I don't know.
See, beat 'em up. So those are called in the UK. You have well, there's two types of beat 'em ups. So Street Fighter and things like that. In the UK, they're called beat 'em ups. But there's also side-scrolling beat 'em ups, which is your Streets of Rage, your Final Fights, and all this kind of stuff.
Like X-Men, like the X-Men arcade game, Turtles.
Yeah, things like
arcade
that.
game.
Yeah. So they're side-scrolling beat 'em ups, and then Street Fighters are just called beat 'em ups. And
Gotcha. I feel cultured now.
Yeah, then now you're cultured. But I loved side-scrolling beat 'em ups. I like Streets of Rage 2, X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Golden Axe, Captain Falcon, all those type of games. I was just a whore for, and I still am. I still love those type of games.
I'm still playing through the Cowabunga collection. For whenever I get time, from time to time, I'll pop it into my PS5, and I'll be like, because I got it for Christmas, and I'm like, every now and then when I'm just like, I got nothing to play, I don't want to stream, I'll be like, fuck, I'm gonna play some Turtles, and so I mean, like, and they've got like a bunch of the arcade games on there,
Yeah.
and even some of the Super Nintendo games on there, and I'm
You
like,
know what? I completely forgot about the Cowabunga collection. I think I have it on my PC.
oh, it's so good.
I'll have to check it. But I remember. So here's a fun flex for you. I
Oh,
don't often get to flex when it comes to gaming because I suck. But I when I was 10 or 11 years old, I got hit in the eye with a boomerang, and it damaged my eye. So I had to spend a week in hospital. I missed my Easter holiday break completely because it happened on the last fucking day before we broke up for Easter holidays. Anyway, while I was laid up in hospital, my friend gave me his NES and I gave him my ZX Spectrum, and he had like great games, Castlevania, Kid Icarus, and Turtles. And if you've played Turtles NES, it's regarded as one of the hardest fucking games ever. Like my friend couldn't complete it, but I managed to complete it with barely any hassle. And to this day, I didn't realize how hard a game it was until everyone else started saying what a fucking hard game it was. So I was like, man, I don't get it. Listen, the guy sitting in the bed next to me saw me fucking complete that game in one go. I died a few times, but I still completed it in one go. So I don't get it, kind of thing. So it's the only time I get to flex when it comes to gaming.
I mean, me too. I'm a milquetoast gamer. You know me. I don't think I ever completed it. I get a couple levels in, and I either get bored or that's one I have not done in the Cowabunga collection. I've mostly been sticking to like the the arcade versions or the Super Nintendo. The as you call them, the side scroll beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those are the one. Not the. And I mean, I guess that one
They're the
is
better
it's a
ones.
2D. Well, I guess it's a 2D platformer more so, right? Like, I mean,
That
technically,
that one was a 2D platforming game.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the one I haven't played though out of the Turtles is Shredder's Revenge, and I know I hear it's
that's fantastic.
amazing. I know, and I got to get it.
Absolutely
But I mean, it's a
fantastic.
separate thing. And honestly, for some reason in my brain, I thought Shredder's Revenge was included in Cowabunga Collection. I didn't realize it was like its own game on its own. Like I knew it was a
Yeah.
new game, but I didn't know it was its own game on its own. I thought it was included in the Cowabunga Collection.
Yeah,
No, it's its own thing, and
it's
I'm
its
like,
own thing. I think the Cowabunga collection is Konami, whereas Shredder's Revenge is not Konami.
but
And I
it's
think,
definitely an homage to like almost
oh
everything.
yeah, it is, and it's a fantastic game. You'll love it if you love all the Turtles in Time and all that kind of stuff. Of
Mhm.
course you'll love Shredder's Revenge,
I
and
know
it's
I brought
better
my
than
quarters
those.
and everything. I was trying to put quarters in my PlayStation
Yes.
5 as
Yeah,
my
but
PlayStation 5's like, stop it, I can't take anymore.
But I tell you what, if any game, if any genre needs the Arkham treatment, it would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they
Oh
do
my god. Could
such a
you imagine?
fucking
Have you been
yeah.
following the last Ronin stuff?
No, I'm going to grab it and read it though because I've heard it's
Okay. Well,
really
I'm not going
good.
to spoil anything for you, but
Yeah,
you're right. Like if they did the last Ronin with the Arkham treatment, oh my god. Oh, and especially like some of the reveals in that. Like do you know any of the reveals or
no,
no?
I don't know anything
I'm not
about
going to
it.
spoil anything. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, and like for me it was like reading through it. I'm just like, oh my god, they like it, and like they think they're taking you one way, and then they just kind of like right the opposite way, and you're just like, holy shit. Like they just turned Turtles on its head, and not in like an Iron Man 3 sort of way, and like a everything that's good way. I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
think of an example.
Anything that's just consistently good with good storytelling, they've
Yeah.
done. Yeah, I mean they should. But even if they did it like Arkham style, but 4-player
Oh yeah. Well, but then
co-op
you
or
then you wouldn't you get I have not played Gotham Knights yet. I know it's shit, but like I mean, is that kind of like what what's so bad about Gotham Knights? Like because that's also kind of like a 4-player experience that
yeah, but well, I mean, you can't play with 4 different people. You can only.
I mean 4 different characters, sorry.
I mean, Gotham Knights. It's not a bad game. It's just bland. So
Okay. So
you know what Japanese hack and slashers are like, just brain dead enemies and big empty worlds and all this kind of shit. That's what Gotham Knights is.
Mm,
It's not a bad game. It's just boring.
gotcha.
That's the kind of main crux. But with Turtles, like even if it was a single player experience, you got four turtles that could approach missions differently, and that's how you'd make it. Like Donatello would do stealth, where Raph would just be a brawler, where and Leo would be strategy, and Mikey would be speed and all this kind of stuff, or acrobatics.
I don't know.
You
Mikey's always been
traverse-
kind of slow, in my opinion, but
mentally, yeah, but
I,
I would put him to more like traversal speeds and things like
yeah.
that. That kind of.
I'm sorry. Like my least favorite turtle's Mikey. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he sucks. I fucking hate Michelangelo.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
Just
like him.
making
Like,
sure we're on the same page here.
yeah, Donatello's my favorite. Then Raph, then Leo.
Mine's Leo, and then Leo, Donnie, and then I see Mikey. I don't like. I hate those like. Although I think Raphael's done better than Wolverine because I hate those Wolverine Raphael types, but I think Raphael's done better than Wolverine's been done.
Yeah. Raph is like the Raph from 2017 Age Mutant Ninja Turtles was perfection.
Which one?
The animated film
The
2007.
2007.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I fucking
but
love that movie.
oh my
Like,
god, I gush over that film all the time. And the funny thing is Donatello and Michelangelo take a complete back seat in that film. They
mhm,
barely feature in it,
yeah,
and
but
that
no,
was
but the storytelling is so good in it, and
it's
I'm
so
like,
good. It's so good. Like the conflict between the brothers and the fight was amazing. And it's
mhm,
Raph that wins, which adds even more credence because it questions Leo's leadership. And oh, fuck me. It's just so good. And it breaks my heart that it didn't do so well.
yeah.
Um,
I went to the theater and saw it. I was
I did.
excited.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I went to the theater and saw that one because I was just like, oh, I was like, I saw the trailers and I'm like, I think this is honestly what I want from Turtles. Like, I really think this is what I want from Turtles. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted a continuation of this. I thought this was a perfect maturing of that franchise, but unfortunately, we went right back into Michael Bay territory, and now
yeah,
with this Mutant Mayhem one, we're just right back to the same old stupid shit. And it's just like, come on.
I don't understand their need to like differentiate the turtles that much. Like I get making a little bit of difference, but it's like it like now like they make Raph like humongous now compared to the other
Yeah,
turtles. And it's like and I mean I kind of get that for aesthetic things, but it's like look at some of the older cartoons, look at some of the toys, and all that stuff. Like even in the games, like they all looked like very very similar, just different color. That the headbands and the belts and stuff and the weapons were what differentiated them, not like their size and color. Like Donnie's always got to be this like skinny, like skinnier looking.
yeah, it's shorter, skinnier
Yeah,
kind of person. Yeah, I don't really like that change.
yeah. Neither do I.
I don't like it. They're all the same size, just they have a different personality. That's
Yeah.
all.
I know that, and I know they only did that because they wanted to make it easier on the writers, or not the writers, the artists in the 80s. But it was like, you know, so then all they had to do was color the bands a certain
Yeah.
different color. But it's like I'm like, but then you get like mismatching voices sometimes. You ever see those?
Oh yeah, when they when
Yeah, when
Leo's
like one turtle's talking
Raph's
and it's
voice.
yeah, those are
Yeah.
always the greatest. But going back to the Arkham, I want to. Oh, so like, what would you do with an Arkham treatment of the game? Like, did you have an idea on what you do with that? I'm
Yeah,
interested in this.
absolutely. So obviously it's very basic. So obviously you have the foot that's kind of taken over the city and the turtles just go, region by region, kind of smashing them, taking them out, and kind of reclaiming the city. So the first game just is very simple. It's just the foot soldiers and the shredder. Okay, it's that simple. And then you get hints of the other mutants kind of roaming around and all this kind of stuff. But the more distinguished part of it is you get to approach missions and areas differently, or different regions require a different approach. So some will just say, fuck it, just send him Raph and he'll beat the shit out of all these foot soldiers because they're not as guarded. Whereas Donatello would have to approach differently. He'll have to take out, say, positions where there are people on the rooftops, and you've got to approach them stealthily and take them out, and that kind of thing. And Leo would have the option of guiding the other turtles to pick up strategic spots to attack before he jumps in and finishes the job. So there's that kind of thing. So it's very much a strategy RPG, but not a strategy RPG turn-based. It's Arkham
Yeah.
kind of thing. But in New York.
I mean, I agree with you. Although I kind of would. I think they should go with like the Arkham Asylum format, where like I don't know if you want to do like the Foot Clan taking over all of New York, because that's a big scope for
No, not yeah. Okay, yeah, not
maybe like an area of
yeah,
like
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Manhattan. Kind of like in the first Turtles movie. Like the first Turtles movie just took place in like a couple areas in New York, and it's just like like that's what the first Arkham game was. It was all took place on an island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Arkham City took place just in Arkham, and Arkham Asylum was just in the asylum. Whereas,
mhm.
I mean, with Turtles, it would more be like, I mean, there's the other option as well, that to not get spotted by the public either.
Yeah.
So then you'd have like those kind of pressures as well. So because I love stealth games, so it will definitely focus more on stealth. And it's not even about like the Gotham way of they've taken over the city and everything's closed off. It's
Yeah.
just different areas, gangs, and all this kind of stuff. You go into the buildings, or you go into these neighborhoods and you clear them out. And people, the public, go, oh, I don't know what happened. They're all just had their asses kicked, and here they're all tied up and ready for the police, kind of thing.
I mean, you know what? But there's got to be one part in the game where you're walking around with the top hat and a trench coat and that stupid, funny-looking mask that they used to wear in the cartoons.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah,
you
I
gotta
mean
have
that'll be
one
one of the
mission.
skins you can get
Yeah,
unlock.
right.
Yeah, 100%, of course.
You could do so. Oh God, Ginger, that is such a good idea, man.
And the way you can you can get away around the city with a turtle van, with a skateboard, with fucking bikes. You can have all the fun when you're in the
They even
sewers.
have grappling hooks, don't they? The
Yeah,
grappling hooks that they
grappling
swing
hooks,
and
all that kind of stuff. Honestly, it would make such a fucking great game, and I'm so pissed nobody's picked up on it. And
that is such a great idea.
and as a multiplayer as well, it would be fucking amazing, because then you have to rely on everyone, uh, approaching the mission in a certain way, and you have to rely on your mates to execute your strategies and all that. And there's just going to be Leroy Jenkins all the fucking time, or
Yeah, right. Right. Whoever plays Raphael, man, they're just barreling in like just out of nowhere.
yeah,
Then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, he's gonna be like, all right, I'm going in, guys. You gotta back me up. And he turns around and like all the turtles are gone. Like
yeah,
it's just Raph face off against like 20 Foot Clan.
yeah.
But they gotta have the Foot Clan have got to be robots that explode when you touch them. I mean, come
Oh
on.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I would keep. I
So
would keep. Sorry, go on.
no. I was just gonna say. So would you? But like, obviously, you want the Foot Clan to be real people, and obviously, you want to do. But do you want to do death? Because like, I know the Arkham. One thing that they
Yes,
kept true in
because
the
it's based
Arkham
on it's on the comic book.
comic books. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, the
So
comic book. Yeah, it'll be not like mass murder kind of stuff, but yeah, there'll be deaths in it.
yeah, like I mean, obviously, Leo using his swords and Raph using his size.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, with Mikey and Donnie, you can get away with not killing somebody, just bludgeoning them. But
Yeah.
like, what are you gonna do? You go up to the sword. Like I love it in the movies. The one part's just so fucking hilarious when it's like, when like Leo's doing the slicing with the sword and the guy keeps ducking, and it's like, really, like I love
Yeah,
these movies, but stab a fucking bitch.
yeah, just
Like
you're dead.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's so bad.
yeah. I mean, this one would just be it'll be a lot darker. It wouldn't be geared towards kids. It would follow the kind of comic books and that.
Put them all in red masks like in the original comic books.
Yeah, exactly. Damn fucking right. No, I wouldn't do that because I like the colors.
Yeah, I know, but still,
I
like
like
in the original
skins again. There'll be different skins in the game because that's standards, and they'll fit different looks and all this kind of stuff because that's part of the fun. And
would you
sorry, go on.
in the first game would you bring in any additional characters? Like you'd have your 4 turtles, but would you have special missions for like one or two what is his name? Not Yajirobe. What's his name?
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah,
Usagi
Yojimbo.
Yojimbo, Casey Jones, Master Splinter, April O'Neil would be good reconnaissance missions, like gather intel kind of stuff. So you can have her on the offset, but not in the first game because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. No,
And
I
that-
get it because I mean,
yeah.
in the first Arkham game, it was just Batman, the entire
Yeah,
time.
I mean they do have the DLC with all the side missions that you could do with the other characters,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want the characters that are in the game play the full fucking game as well. But that would be in the sequel. And in the sequel, you can switch it up. You know, you can have like your Gordon Geckos and your Usagi, your Jimbo. So you add another 4 characters. So you've got 8 characters to play with. And yeah, you can have more fun with that. And then so forth and so on. And in the second one, you go a little bit more mutants, more Krang, more this, in fact, in the second game, you could set the whole fucking thing on a Thunderdome if you wanted. Is it Thunderdome? No, what was
No,
it
the
called?
Technodrome.
Technodrome. Sorry, if you wanted, but
I think that
obviously
would
not.
be like the first one though, very confined, very
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying you could if you wanted, but I wouldn't do that.
you could definitely do a portion of the game maybe in the second one, like a good portion. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
absolutely.
like do like a couple chapters. Like let's say it
The
goes by
latter half of
chapters.
the game,
Yeah,
you're in the Thunderdome to
Thunderdrome.
Technodrome. God damn it. Fucking stupid Mad Max. You're in the Technodrome, for the latter part, and your main boss is like Krang. And then at the end of that, you get the portal and you go into the other worlds.
Yeah, Dimension
And
X. That was going to be my next
yeah,
thing. Would you go into Dimension X for the third
absolutely. That
one?
would be the third game. Dimension X would be the third game, of course.
Then you
Because
can kill things. Then you can massacre things in that game
yeah,
because it's just like they're just aliens and
exactly. You can't do New York for 3 fucking games. You just can't.
no.
That's why like the second game would have a huge portion like Technodrome and other areas that you go into and all this kind of stuff. But what I would like to do if the capabilities today is more interactions inside buildings, like you go inside buildings and you do stuff, not just out in the fucking streets, because that's been done to death, So yeah, it's a franchise that has one of the biggest potentials, but again, it's just
I think that they would gear it more like too much towards kids though. Like that's my fear because
yeah, of course they would.
because just like
Because Viacom are idiots, and they keep thinking, well, look, the toys sell really well. So it's fucking me that was buying the bloody toys. Like the toys that just dropped for Mutant Mayhem, the playset for the sewer and the street, fucking awesome. I'll send it to you later, and I'm gonna get it. The party wagon, I'm gonna fucking get it.
the third one can have this awesome turtle van in it, that turns into a tank and kind of moves around.
Fuck yeah. Why not? Just base the whole game.
No, I want the
whole
blimp.
Yeah, the whole game is on a blimp. That's it.
The whole game is on the turtle blimp.
Carl, slow down. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
I know we fucking we're breadwinners right here. Come on, guys. Come on.
Hire us.
We got this.
That's what Ubisoft should do. They get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle license, and it's their money problems are solved.
Yeah.
But no, they're just going to give you 20 Arkham Assassin's Creed games instead.
Let's talk. Do you want to talk about Assassin's Creed real quick?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed? Like, I mean, I like the games. I thought Valhalla was a step in the right direction, but for me, it was. I know I know some people didn't like it, but I don't know. Like, I'm just like, what do you do with it at this point? I mean, they aren't bringing one out every year anymore, like they were, which they did. They kind of blew their load, like
but they've got that's for now. But they've got like 10 games lined up
for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, they got like the one in Baghdad, then they've got the Infinity there, and then they've got a feudal Japan one. They've got the fucking Mega Life Service one that's going to come out and die. Um,
Got it. Wait, they're gonna have an RPG or online one?
yeah,
Oh fuck!
yeah. They've got loads of Assassin's Creed games coming out. Yeah,
No,
hang on.
no,
Let me.
no.
Let me.
Give me Mirage, and then I don't even know what Infinity is, but give me Mirage. That's okay. Um, but yeah, no, just don't. Feudal Japan is fine, but don't bring it out like like not long after Mirage comes out. Like, give it some time. You
Let's
know.
have a look.
The problem is that they get this one franchise, and don't get me wrong, because I mean, some of my favorite like Assassin's Creed games came out during like the succession years. What I call them, because they're like year after year after year. Because like I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3. I really enjoyed Rogue. Rogue's my favorite. I think we've talked about this. Rogue is
Rogue
my
is the best one.
yeah. But really, what that game is a culmination of all of the PS like what PS3 or PS3 era
Yeah.
games. Like, yeah, so but it still worked. Fantastic storyline too.
Yeah. So here we go. We've
And
got.
I like Syndicate.
I loved Syndicate. Yeah. So here we go. So we've got Assassin's Creed Codename Jade. Um, I'm not gonna bother trying to fucking. It's set in in China, which is cool. Assassin's Creed Codename Red. That's the one in feudal Japan. Assassin's Creed Codename Hex. Uh,
What the fuck?
which is we don't know much about that. I think it's like more to do with Valhalla kind of stuff. And it all kind of ties in with the Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is like the live service hub of bullshit that stinks of greed. What do you guys think about Biden? Um,
Oh,
useless twat. There you go.
I mean, yeah, geriatric geriatric dementia patient. Like
Yeah,
I work with those kind of patients every day. I see that kind of like that lost look in his face when he's like, trying to figure out what he's supposed to do. I look at that every single day on a dementia unit. So,
yeah. There you go. um, but yeah, like Assassin's Creed, like I'll be honest with you. I mean, I just fucking hate Ubisoft at this point. That I don't give a shit about them or their fucking games. I only want Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't fucking care about Assassin's Creed anymore. Trump's oh, I was going to say the R word, but I better not. Trump's a moron, but hilarious.
yeah, if you're looking for politics on the, oh, I guess you guys did put it in in the title.
We did politics. It's politics here. I would say it's an open forum. So
Yeah,
if people want to revert back to talking politics, hey, have at it. At the
yeah.
moment, we're talking about games, but we will definitely jump back and forth between politics and games. It's not a
Yeah.
problem.
I mean, it's not as cookie cutter as like we're Republican, Democrat, left, right. Like there's mixed opinions about all of it
Yeah.
here, and it's not just me and him. Trust me, Zam was on here a little bit ago. He's got his own opinions. I mean, we've got tons of people on
Yeah.
this channel that have
What
mixed
about
opinions.
VR chat? Is
VR
that
chat?
oh
Is that like
yeah, it's like in VR and it's all these fucking characters and it's a bit like the metaverse, but it actually works. Affect our reviews. Welcome. See, we've got people joining us and we're still going because it's not about how long we are. We're just doing an open forum.
Oh, yes, we are set for the review tomorrow. Yep, we are ready to go. Zam was talking about it a little bit earlier. That we're going to be reviewing your film live and chatting with the makers and producers of the film. So, but we are ready to go. Good. I mean, we're excited too. Just, I mean, look, it just we forewarned people. We're pretty honest with our reactions. So,
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
gonna say, Fecto, don't be surprised if you hear these words. It's fucking shit. Not from me, because I don't do Star Trek, so I'm not gonna be doing the review. But if one of our one of our presenters
reactors.
says that word, he's very brutally honest, and I'm just forewarning you now. Don't be offended. It's just it is what it is. because this individual cannot compartmentalize the difference between a fan film and a fucking Hollywood film. So you're going to be sitting there going, but bro, this is like low budget and all that. It doesn't matter to him. Doesn't matter. So you have been forewarned.
I think he's gotten. I think he's gotten better at that though. Like when we first started, it was like he would give shit for films that just like
didn't even warrant it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, well,
good. I'm glad you had a lot of fun. I will be tuning in the comment section for that for sure.
And you know, knowing our luck now that you've said that about about our friend, it's gonna be me being like, oh, I fucking hated this thing. Why would you take the warp nacelles and turn them backwards? That doesn't even work that way because the antimatter flow has to go this way to go this way and then out its asshole.
And you'll be interviewing them later on. You go, you son of a bitch! What the fuck was this piece of shit, man? Fuck you! I hope you never.
That's not how a warp engine works.
Swallowed, you asshole. and Sam's sitting there going, I thought it was all right, actually. I don't know what your problem is, mate. So uncivilized.
That has happened.
American.
That has happened where I'm like super like I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I can't. And Sam's like, I thought it was all right. Like I'm like, no.
It's a fresh take on fan films, so don't expect a lot of canon. Good. You don't need to have canon. Like,
yeah, no.
You set it within the universe, but for fuck canon, make it your own. Like I always say, why waste your time and energy making something you love where it has to be set within a certain timeline, parameters? Bollocks to that. Make it your own. You know.
Wanted maximum versatility. That's how I like my women too.
Maximum versatility and with 6 vaginas.
Maximum fertility.
Maximum fertility. Absolutely.
Oh God.
Frankly, if you're not banging a green chick, then I don't want to care. I don't care about your fan film. You know. Because I've seen plenty fan films of Star Trek with green chicks going at it. I wouldn't call those fan films, more porno films, but
Ginger's fan film. He's like gonna make his own fan film. Like they're like, oh yeah, you must love Star Trek. He's like, no, I just wanted to bang a green chick.
Yeah, I just want to get green on my dick. That's it. I don't know.
Green Greek gets green chick. That's what it's gonna be called.
that's what it's called. Captain, we've encountered life form. Does it have tits? Yes. All right, I'm off. Beam it down, Scotty. Star Trek fans are like, what is he wearing? This isn't the law. What is that phaser? Why has he got a smartphone and all this kind of stuff?
He's got a razor phone. He's
got a razor phone. And why is he wearing a bandana? What the fuck's going on? And they're having a meltdown. It's just me because the end game is to get to fucking the green bitch. And that's it.
Right? Yeah. It's set in the universe 69.
Yeah, it's set in the universe 69. Captain's log won't flush. I've tried everything.
You know what? Fuck this noise. We were just talking about this. Look what just showed up on my timeline. I kid you not. I kid you not. I was sitting there scrolling while we were talking, and that shit came on my feed. I kid you not.
Facebook is listening, mate. Always listening.
Oh God, what the fuck? What?
I was a truck driver looking guy in the Sorry video you all reviewed. I can promise you.
Oh, yeah. The truck driver guy. Yeah.
Okay. Sizzle.
In the fan film, it's like the way that they set up the shot. It just looked like he was like a truck driver in a dark truck, like driving. Like,
oh, right.
I mean, so that's what Zam. I think that's what Zam said. He said, "What this guy's look like he's driving a fucking truck." Well, we are excited to see it, and I am very excited to see Ginger's Green Bitch fan film. I can't believe it. That's insane.
That's what I'm going to be blowing my loads into.
What? I just can't put like fucking Facebook, man. Zuck, get out of my shit. All right.
It's like, hey, baby, I want to make love to you all night. I'm gonna come 6, 7, 8 times. 2 strokes in, and I've pumped my load. I'm like, don't touch me, Yeah.
Oh.
See, this is much better conversation.
Yeah.
This shows that I'm not racist because it's not even about the color of your skin. It's not even about your species. If you're bipedal and you got a vagina, I'm banging you. And not a lot of body hair, in case
Yeah.
people are like, so this guy will bang monkeys. No.
Yeah. Body hair's got to be at a minimum.
Yeah, body hair's at a minimum. Just head of hair, and that's it.
So anyway,
So
I don't know.
anyway,
You got any other topics you want to?
not really. I think I'm done. I think I'm tapped out.
All right.
Uh,
Well, 3.5 hours is pretty good.
Yeah, but thank you to everyone that joined us in the comment section. Like I said, I'll probably try to do more of these, but they're just open forums of discussion. So we don't really have topics, but I'll select a few topics to talk about just to kind of get the ball rolling. But then anyone who comes in can chime in with anything they want to, and we'll pick it up from there. That is all. I want to thank Zam for joining me earlier. I want to thank Cheeto for joining me now. We shot the shit about gaming and turtles and green bitches that we're going to blow our loads into. And on that note, we will see you tomorrow for the fan film reaction.